Fairfield Mules. Cole Carter alongside Chris Myers. I want to thank all of you tuning in on 97.3 WRUL, also on 104.9 WFIW, and on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. I want to thank a couple of sponsors real quick. From the WFIW side, big thanks to Edward Jones Financial Advisor Abby Mawson, People's National Bank, Rush Appliance and Furniture, Wabash General Hospital, Wayne County Farm Bureau, and Fairfield Memorial Hospital. And the pregame show for them is sponsored by Rush Appliance in both Carmi and Fairfield. The pregame show here on WRUL is in focus thanks to Taylor Eye Care, providing excellence in eye care on Falcon Avenue in Carmi. Visit TaylorEyeCare.com for more information. Well, Chris, we've been waiting for this game all week long. Carmi's 4-0 years since Carmi has taken down the mighty Mules, and I think they got a good shot tonight.
If you're a football fan, you've been feeling this in the air all week. We talked about it last Friday night, that records go out the window. Bulldogs coming into tonight 4-0, have been dominant in every game they played. The Mules at 2-2 took a couple on the chin, one against Johnson City and one against Cesar. But coming into tonight, the Fairfield-Carmi rivalry, we found out, goes all the way back to 1899. It's homecoming. The weather's finally changed. Fall is here. Football is really, really in the air tonight, and I expect a great game.
It's been a great environment throughout the entire town all week. Of course, homecoming week in itself is such a fun, festive week. They had the homecoming parade today throughout town. A lot of maroon and white and a packed house already here at Andrew Jeffries Field. Team, they're 2-2, and 2 losses in one season is the most they've had. Teens, something like that. I should have wrote that down. But they're a little bit different this year, but yet they're still the same Fairfield Mules.
They're still loaded with athletes and big linemen up front, plenty of athletes. They did suffer a devastating blow to their team. Their junior running back, Jace Snyder, was injured in week 1, and he was their best offensive weapon. So that, without question, has definitely hurt their offense. Because of that, they had changed their scheme a little bit. Their plan this year, according to all reports, was to become more of a spread team. But I think since the injury to Snyder, by the reports, which we'll see here in a few minutes, that they may be going back to that foot-to-foot wedge formation, which has always just been so tough to defend. The reason why, if you're wondering what is it about the wedge formation that's difficult with the 2 wingbacks, what makes it difficult is that your linebackers, who are basically your quarterbacks on defense, they can't see anything in the backfield. It's hard to see motion. It's hard to see double handoffs. You've got linemen pulling different directions. Normally the linebackers are taught to read the guards, but in this offense, even if a guard does pull, it may just be what we call a dummy pull. He may be pulling just to cause misdirection. So it's just a very difficult offense to scout and to read. So you have to tell your defensive lineman, number one, your defensive lineman got to be big up front. They got to get penetration. They got to get in the backfield. They can't get blown off the football. They've got to blow that up the line of scrimmage and allow your linebackers, defensive ends, secondary guys to come up and make plays.
Well, and the fans at home will learn tonight that it's also hard to see who's got the ball in this Fairfield offense. It's hard to see who's getting it, where they're going. So we'll have a chance to see that tonight. We've seen it for many years, and I can imagine they'll be very run-heavy so far this evening. I believe they're getting ready to start the national anthem. I believe, waiting to get the official signal. We are about 14 minutes away from kickoff. And the field looks great also. Big shout out to Gage Atterbury, Carmi senior, who painted the bulldog on midfield. He said he was here late last night working on that, so it looks great. The field looks great. And not quite ready for the national anthem. Pregame show in focus to Taylor Eye Care on Falcon Avenue in Carmi. Visit TaylorEyeCare.com for more information. Well, Chris, real quick, this Bulldog offense, it's as hard as Fairfield's going to be tough to stop. You got to imagine it's going to be tough for Fairfield to stop. Carmi, Isaac King, Draxonot, Andrew Dotson have been incredible this season.
Well, if you've been listening to any of our broadcasts this year, or if you've watched online, you can just see we have it down at the 3-headed monster, Isaac King, Draxonot, and Andrew Dotson. They are just literally like a road grader. They grind up anything in their path. It's just a slow, methodical pound, wear down the defense between the tackles, and then, of course, with Isaac King, one handoff can be 50 yards and a touchdown.
We will take a short break for the national anthem. This is Bulldog Football on 97.3 WRUL and 104.9 WFIW.
Taylor Eye Care on Falcon Avenue in Carmi has over 500 eyeglass frames to choose from in stock. Also, a large selection of designer sunglass, non-prescription or prescription. Taylor Eye Care treats every patient like a member of their family, going above and beyond the expected for a truly memorable eye care experience. Call Taylor Eye Care at 618-382-4683 for your next eye exam. That's 618-382-4683. Taylor Eye Care, excellence in eye care.
You can buy more of what you want when you save on what you need. Save on meal ingredients by shopping Little Giant Grocery Outlet in Carmi. Little Giant's team of buyers are constantly scanning wholesalers, looking for pantry favorites and meal ingredients at astonishing savings just so you can shop confidently, knowing that you can come in anytime and find great deals from fresh cuts of meat and grocery items to deli, fresh produce, and frozen goods. See just how much more your dollar buys at Little Giant Grocery, Carmi, Illinois.
Getting ready for kickoff here between the Mules and the Bulldogs here on 97.3 WRUL and 104.9 WFIW. A lot of people to thank for putting this broadcast on the air tonight. J.C. Tinsley is back at the studio on the Carmi side. Drew Pountain is there in the Fairfield studio for those of you listening on 104.9 WFIW. Haley Winkleman and Whitney McGuire are here running the laptop and the camera for us tonight, helping us get on your TV screens. Those of you watching on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. Do want to let those of you that are watching at home know we will not be streaming the halftime presentation and festivities on the YouTube stream because we got football to talk about, of course, Chris. Yes. But if you want to check out the Queen Coronation and the band halftime show, go on over to the WRUL Facebook page. We'll have the whole thing for you there so you won't miss a beat. So you can have the game on your TV, pull up your phone, go to the WRUL Facebook page, and check that out. Should be, again, homecoming is always a fantastic evening. It will be an extended halftime show. Can't wait for that, and can't wait for this game to get started. The Bulldogs are 4-0. A win tonight will, of course, make them playoff eligible. They can officially clinch a berth with a win, with 2 wins essentially. That 6th win officially gets you in, but that 5th win makes you eligible, which will be for the 2nd straight year for Carmi.
Yes, and that is in the back of this team's mind, but I think first and foremost is the fact of who their opponent is tonight. We've talked about a team they have not beaten 10 years. I can guarantee you the first thing on their mind, this Bulldog team is hungry. And as you wrote in your article this week, they are due. They want this Mule team. It's more than just homecoming. It's a rivalry. They want to get this tonight, and I think it's going to be a fantastic football game. One thing I did want to mention, Cole, we're talking about kind of the contrast here. The Bulldogs just do their thing on the ground, which we know. If you look at our total yardage on the ground this year, it's over 1,000 yards so far. Contrast that with the Mules, who are roughly between 400 and 500. Our pass attempts, Warren Legg has attempted 7 passes for 3 touchdowns, 122 yards. 7. By contrast, Eric Rogers, Fairfield's quarterback, has attempted 38 passes.
Yeah.
So
which
that
is unusual for Fairfield,
it is,
obviously. I mean, this is a Fairfield team. The fans that have seen them play, they have not thrown the ball very much in the past. But Rogers, he's been a quarterback for a couple of years now, and they will throw it if they need to, but I don't expect them to throw it a whole lot tonight.
No, I think they're probably going to try to take a page out of the Bulldogs' book so they can keep the ball away from us. Because we know if our ground game is clicking, it's a tough thing to stop.
Talking to Kurt Simon yesterday, or back on Wednesday actually, his biggest, I would say, of killing clock, not turning the ball over, and just keeping Isaac King roster.
I mean, they're huge up front.
Yep.
I'm seeing 285,
as always,
315, 360, tight end 6'4", 255. So, yes, if they decide to just put things on the ground and take a page from our book, and they kind of do what we do, if they're grinding 3-4 yards a pop, then you're exactly right, Cole. That clock ticks. The Bulldogs don't get the ball back. And, again, we're a quick strike team if we break a long run, but we're more methodical. So if we get behind and score and in time of possession, it could put the Bulldogs someplace they've never been. So it's going to be very interesting. I think the challenge really lies for our defense tonight. Get the ball back in our hands and give us the chance to do what we do best, control the clock, pound the ball between the tackles, and just slowly, methodically suffocate teams.
And one might think this might be the best team Carmi has faced all year. Of course, Sesser did beat this Fairfield team. I wasn't too impressed by what we saw from Sesser that night. I think overall, if you're talking
if Sesser beat them, I think a lot of it, Carmi, we played out of our minds, number one, getting that turnover early in that game, changed that game. But if you look at this Mule roster, again, if you're watching this live, they are huge up front.
Looking at them across the way, they look huge already.
And if they can use that to their advantage and just pound the ball, but you're right, athletes, they have a good quarterback who can do it in the air, and he can run the ball as well. He's got, a couple hundred yards rushing this year, I believe. And a solid backfield. This is a dangerous Fairfield football team. Again, don't let records fool you. Just because they're 2-2 doesn't mean anything tonight. They're up for this game. Once you become, there's the old saying, once the hunter becomes the hunted, things kind of change. Carmi is the hunted right now. Everybody knows, right now, this is potentially the best team in the conference. And don't think for a second, Fairfield isn't looking for the opportunity to come in here. They're licking their chops to play spoiler. They don't care that Carmi's 4-0. They just know it's our rival. We want to come in here and spoil their homecoming. With that said, Carmi's thinking the exact opposite. Carmi's thinking, hey, we're going to establish our dominance. We're going to end this losing streak to them once and for all. We're going to get it done tonight. You've got a packed house, electric atmosphere. It's going to be a fantastic night for football.
Let's take a second and meet the starting offense for the Bulldogs. Their left tackle, a 5'10 senior, number 70, Chase Pringle. Left guard, a 6-foot junior, number 50, Gavin Payton. The center, a 6'2 junior, number 51, Nelson Ryder. The right guard, a 6'2 senior, a 4-year starter, a reigning first-team All-BDC member in Bryson Moore, number 79. And the right tackle, number 62, a 5'11 junior, is Austin Owen. Your tight ends, Nate Brown, he's a 6'1 senior wearing number 34. Tyler Gomat, a 6'2 senior wearing number 12. And the wingback, Andrew Dodson, number 11, a 6-foot junior. Your fullback, Draxon Odd, a 5'9 senior wearing number 25. Running back, Isaac King, a 5'9 senior wearing number 1. And the quarterback, Warren Legg, the 5'11 senior wearing number 10. That is your starting 11 on the offensive side of the football for the Carmi White County Bulldogs in this game tonight. The kickoff sponsor on the WFIW side. Get this game underway. Kickoff is brought to you thanks to partners at Garmin Trucking. Call 847-7921 for your deliveries of ready-mix concrete, sand, driveway, and decorative rock, riprap, and more. So thanks to the WFIW kickoff sponsor, Garmin Trucking. And, Chris, you can feel it in the air. You can really feel it temperature-wise, as it's been great weather the past 2 days, nice and chilly. It's definitely football season.
It is so nice. And I think what made it even more rewarding for these kids is Tuesday and Wednesday, it was brutal hot.
Yes.
It was, September's not quite like July, but still 100 degrees
like
is 100 degrees. And so to go through those two full padded practices and then have good, crisp fall football weather, it's definitely their reward.
The Bulldogs will get the ball to start the ball game. They're wearing their all-maroon uniforms with white helmets. Fairfield in their road white jerseys with red pants, black helmets. The Fairfield F on the side of the helmet. They'll be kicking left to right. They'll be defending left to right in this first quarter. Number 38, Alex Couch will do the kicking for Fairfield, and we're underway. Isaac King from the 20-yard line up the middle. Now goes to the left side. Trying to bounce it out, now cuts back in, still on his feet across the 40 and taken down at the Carmi 41-yard line. 1st and 10 from that spot. We are rocking and rolling here at Hampton Jeffrey Sports Complex.
And this is where the Bulldogs need to really come out and do their thing this first drive. They need to establish their dominance. Again, don't deviate from what you're good at. Expect us to come out, T-wing, power I, do our thing between the tackles.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They call it the 42-yard line. Here in the power I formation, King dots the I, Dotson and Odd in front of him. Under center is Legg. Hand off to King on the first play from scrimmage. King up the middle, gets it across the 45, up to about the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. About a gain of 5 on the play. Second down coming up here for the Bulldogs.
And perfect. 5 yards, you're already ahead of the chain. 2nd and 5, basic power I football coming on that ISO on the left side. Exactly how you draw it up. Again, you don't have to hit a home run every time. 5 yards a pop moves the chains.
Back to the power I formation, same formation as last play. 2nd down and 4, under center is Legg. Turns, gives it off to King now on the right side, and King will take it up right to the midfield Bulldog logo. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 2 here for Carmi, and Chris, there's no doubt this is the biggest defensive line Carmi has seen yet this year.
Oh, without question. I'm looking at their nose tackle, Vegas Stanley, 250. He's a short, stout 250. Then their defensive end, number 89, Luke Duckworth, 6'4", 250. I mean, and they're stacking the box. There's 6 guys at the line, and they are big.
3rd down and 2. Ball at midfield. Under center his leg. They fake the handoff to King. Now it's Odd left side. Odd will be tripped up across the Fairfield 45-yard line. That's enough for a Rush Appliance first down into Mule territory.
Beautifully executed on that left side. Again, that play out of that wing formation, kind of that fake to Isaac on the right side, kind of shifted the defense over. Left side of the line, able to get their down blocks, get enough of a kick out. Odd hit it off left guard beautifully.
So move the chains to the Fairfield 42-yard line where it's 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs.
We have a wide out to a far side.
That's King who's out wide to the right side of correction. That was Tyler Gomat. Toss right side to Draxon Odd, trying to go east and west, and a great job in pursuit by the Fairfield Mules. Luke Sork, the senior, brought him down. That will be a gain of about a yard there for Odd. 2nd and 9 coming up, and we really have not seen a lot of negative plays or really 1-yard gainers for Carmi yet this year.
No, that's one of the first times you've seen that on 1st down. But nice job by their defensive tackle, Dawson Stewart, 6'1", 240. He got penetration early on that play, kind of forced that to hurry a little bit. First time we've seen the wideout split.
Yeah.
For the Bulldogs. I think they were just trying to get some space, widen the field that way a little.
Of course, you can expect Fairfield's going to stack the box on the defensive side as much as they can. 2nd and 9, wing back again, handoff to King left side. King will put a shoulder down, stiff arm out inside the 40 up to the 37-yard line. And that will be 3rd down at about 5 coming up here for Carmi. We're at 9:15 left in a scoreless first quarter.
Well, you're in 4-down territory. I expect Carmi to keep it on the ground here. But this is 3rd and 5. You know, place the Bulldogs aren't very often. So I think they'll keep it on the ground. Just got to try to get as close to that marker as possible. Obviously, we'd love a 1st down, but just get us in position to convert it in 2 downs.
Power eye formation, 3rd down and 5 from the Fairfield 37-yard line. They fake the toss, handoff King left side, and he'll be tripped up near the line of scrimmage. Fairfield doing a good job at stopping that play. Big number 89, Luke Duckworth on the tackle. And
also the nose tackle, 6 foot, 305-pound Caleb Gonzalez.
And Chris Carmi is bringing out the punt team on 4th and 5 from the Mule 37.
Something we have not seen this year.
And the lights just went out here at the field. The lights just went out. We've got our custodian, John Gomat, here in the press box trying to work on it. Breaker broke downstairs is what the call from Mr. Gomat is. So we'll sit tight for a minute. So the lights, there's still electricity here at the field. The scoreboard's on. The lights are on here in the press box, but the field lights are currently off. It is dark on the field right before a crucial 4th and 6. So a little bit of a Super Bowl 46 or 47 going on.
That was the first thing in my mind.
Chris.
That's reminded me of the Ravens-Niners Super Bowl.
So, well, that's a bingo card item right there. That's one thing you did not expect to happen, and especially here on the first drive. There's 8:13 on the game clock. It's a 4th down and 6 for Carmi, and
yeah,
there's no question how long this will last.
No, I thought I overheard him say it's a breaker box issue downstairs. And if that's the case, if it's a breaker box, you got to kind of either replace that. You know, I don't.
Might not be good.
But no, that would not be good. Got
some of the lights that are on the school building across the way, lighting up the visiting sideline a little bit, but and you see the maroon platoon down to the right side of the sideline with their flashlights on. Tell you what, Chris, I'm not sure what we're gonna have to do here.
Well, just hope there may be some electricians in the stands here. Hopefully we have one. So we get a word from, again, our head maintenance person, John Gomat, is here for the school district. So,
and again, it's not a complete power outage.
No, it's just the lights.
Yeah.
And he kind of indicated it's a breaker box issue. I see him on the phone communicating. So, yeah, and if you're a Mules fan, you might be thinking conspiracy theory right now. You know?
Is there somebody in a red shirt messing with some wires down below us?
Yes. And the Bulldogs, like we have mentioned, the possibility, this was their first 3-and-out of the season.
Yeah.
Their opening drive. Well, it wasn't a 3,
but a punt on a first possession.
First time they've been forced to punt on a opening possession all season.
We will go ahead and take a 2-minute break, and hopefully when we come back, we'll have some answers for you, as there's currently no lights on here at the field. It's Carmi's first drive. We'll step aside for a 2-minute break. This is Bulldog football.
Hey, Tom, what's up, man? You look awful.
Yeah, well, I think I just shitted myself to death.
Dude, that's brutal.
Yeah, I should have bought the truck. Should have taken advantage of the deal. It was perfect, and everything about Rice is nice, but I just wasn't sure. Then I spent the next hours, days, weeks, and months shooting myself until I just couldn't take it anymore.
Let me tell you what you ought to do. You ought to buy a truck from Rice Motors in Carmi.
Hop on and take ricemotors.com for a test drive today. Everything about Rice is nice. Rice Motors.
It's no accident that more and more people trust Hale Body Shop when they need collision repair.
David and the gang at Hale Body Shop work hard to get your car back to you as soon as possible.
They understand how busy you are.
They also understand that sometimes life happens.
And if you find yourself in an accident,
remember, when it does, there's only one place to go.
Hale Body Shop in Carmi, way out there on Possum Road.
Life can be complicated, but managing your money should be simple. Whether you need to check your balances, deposit a check, pay bills, pay a friend, or transfer money to retirement savings, First Mid Online and Mobile Banking keep your finances simple every step along the way. With First Mid Bank and Trust, you can manage your money anytime right from your smartphone. You can even sign up for real-time alerts to stay on top of your account activity. Learn more about these conveniences at firstmid.com. First Mid Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Breaker go out? Breaker?
Well, we've got some news for you. As you recall, those of you just tuning in, no lights here at Carmi County High School on the football field. There is power, but the lights turned off right before Carmi was set to punt on a 4th down and 6. And we've got word from our custodian, John Gomat, behind us, and our PA guy, Trey Mason. They're thinking maybe about 30 minutes until this gets back on. Chris, what we heard was someone was airing up a golf cart tire below us, and an air compressor was a little too much power. Next thing you know, it's dark.
Yeah. And what can you do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's good that we know, because obviously could be worse things that could happen. I'd say absolute worst case scenario, we come back here tomorrow and do it all over again. But I think there's a really good chance we'll have football again here in about 30 minutes, which, like I said, more football for me later night, and not a big deal. I want to see some football.
That's all right. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a late night anyway.
So now the question is, how do we pass this? Where's Toby Brown to help us pass some time during this little power outage delay?
We need stats during this time. But no, I tell you what, it was kind of – we had mentioned it. Records go out the window when you're in a rivalry game. And we had said this Mules team is going to come down here ready to play. You mentioned it. They are probably have the most athletes of any team we'll face this year. And that first drive, really other than that first down run by Drax Odd, I mean, their defensive line established their dominance. And again, their size up front, their nose tackle, Gonzalez, 6 foot, 305. Their defensive end, Luke Duckworth, 6'4", 255. Dawson Stewart, defensive lineman, 6'1", 240. I mean, they're big. I mean, They are big and physical, and I don't think we haven't faced a team with this kind of size up front yet and athletic ability. So, if you're the Bulldogs, you're going to kind of, brush yourself off a little bit and say, all right, we're going to have to buckle down here.
So this is obviously a unique situation, and one thing, Chris, is normally you think about a lightning delay possibly, what you would do in that circumstance. Do the players go back in the locker room? What do they do? But none of the players have left the field. They're all kind of huddling around their sideline, and the question is how long will this last? You got to think, what are these players going to have to do to kind of get themselves back in the game mindset and game ready?
Well, the best thing you can do, it looks like right now they're just kind of huddled, like you said, huddled on the sidelines. You just stay loose, you stretch, and you just focus on the fact, okay, we've got a delay. There's nothing we can do about it. We just have to do our best to keep our minds focused. The coaches, this is some extra time to talk. If you're Coach Simon, and this may sound, it's like, okay, what's the big deal about your first drive stalling? It hasn't happened to your team yet this year. So if you're Coach Simon, you have to get him to the side, talk to him, settle them down a little bit and say, okay, boys, we knew this could happen. Mm-hmm. We knew we were going to be in a game. And, just if we're punting the ball, they get it, we're going to have to play defense to return the favor. So, again, we expected a solid football game tonight. I think once we get going here again, I think that's what you're going to see.
Well, while we have no lights, we'll look for other scores at stadiums that do have lights. And it's still early, only 9 minutes past the hour, so I can imagine we'll have many score updates from around the Black Diamond Conference. Some other games that are going on tonight. Flora is at Johnson City, so that's 3-1 at 4-0. Cesar is at CZR. Vienna is at Edwards County, and I do believe El Dorado will host Hamilton County tomorrow. It is also El Dorado's homecoming night. They do their game on Saturday, and hopefully we don't have to come back tomorrow for the. Hopefully we can get this game in tonight. I think we might be able to. That's the hope.
If it's 30 minutes, we'll be back to playing by 7:30. So that's, again, as long as the electrical circuits cooperate like they should. Mr. Gomat said 30 minutes. He didn't expect anything, unforeseen. So.
Yeah, those of you just tuning in, apparently there was an air compressor running down below us near a breaker box, and it blew that breaker box that powers the lights, and here we are. It happened right before a 4th and 6 for Carmi at the Fairfield 38-yard line. And here, I'm willing to put money down, Chris. I bet whenever we resume football, if that is, in the next 30 minutes or whenever it is, do you think Carmi still punts on this 4th down?
I probably would, where were we at? Our 38?
They're 38.
They're 38. Boy,
4th and 6.
That's close. I mean, if he's already sent him out there, I think maybe you just go ahead and do it and play the field position game, see what your defense is facing, because Fairfield was on a huge momentum roll at that point because, again, they'd done something no one else had done. They stopped the Bulldogs in their first drive. So that was a huge jolt of momentum to them, and if you go for it on 4th and don't get it, you just fed them even more.
Yep.
Now they're really up and believing. So I think the safe thing to do here is just to go ahead and punt and play the field position game because, again, you've seen it. This Mule team is fired up to play, and if you give them good field position, their offense starts clicking just like their defense has. You could put yourself behind the 8 ball early if you're the Bulldogs. So I think you just play it conservative and play the field position game.
So, again, we stopped at 8:13 left to go in the first quarter still. And, again, we're still waiting for that breaker to flip back on. We'll go ahead and take another 2-minute break. This is Bulldog football.
Wabash General Hospital. People you know, helping people you love. From treating all aspects of heart health, diagnosis, treatment, and management of your heart condition to an orthopedic team ready to restore your quality of life by improving your mobility, flexibility, endurance, and strength. Call Wabash General Hospital today. 618-262-8621. Wabash General Hospital. Committed to combining passion and knowledge to heal. Visit wabashgeneral.com for more information.
Personal one-to-one service. That's a promise we make to all of our clients. This is Ashley Ingram with Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Our firm was built on the idea of treating all of our clients like they are the only client we have. For bookkeeping, payroll, financial planning, and of course, income tax preparation, turn to a firm that is large enough to trust and small enough to care. Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Call us at 382-4151 or visit us at butch.com. That's BOTSCH.com.
In today's environment, being able to do all of your banking from home is not only convenient, but a necessity. People's National Bank makes it easy for you to do your banking without actually going to the bank. From online banking, mobile banking, free mobile deposit, to transferring funds and paying bills, it's easy and convenient for you to do your banking all from your mobile phone or computer. Get started by going to peoplesnationalbank.com to sign up for online banking today. People's National Bank, making it easy to bank from anywhere. Member FDIC.
Your family's care team is close to home at Hamilton Memorial Family Clinics in McLeansboro and Carmi. From routine care, vaccines and DOT physicals, to disease management, x-ray, lab work, and COVID testing. With 9 providers and 8 specialty care clinics, Hamilton Memorial has you covered. Plus, for those unexpected illnesses, our weekend walk-in clinics in Carmi and McLeansboro. Hamilton Memorial Hospital Family Clinics. Here for you now, like we've always been.
We're still here. The lights are still off here at Hampton Jeffrey Sports Complex. Cole Carter and Chris Myers. We're about 15 or so minutes into this potential 30-minute electrical delay. Those of you just tuning in, we had a breaker box get blown that flipped off the field lights during Carmi's first drive. About 4 minutes of game clock ticked down during that first possession. And here we are, just kind of waiting around as we do start to see players on both sides stretching. I think the word
lights.
and we're starting to see the lights.
They're coming on.
Starting to make their way slow. And these do take a while to kind of get back on. So
2 at a
that,
time.
my friend, is a positive sign right there.
Yeah. Being entertained by the drum section.
Absolutely.
The Carmi band, the crowd's up enjoying this. The Maroon Platoon was waving their phones in the dark. It's kind of a
if there ever
cool
was
atmosphere.
a night where you needed some entertainment with no lights, it was definitely homecoming night. But we are getting somewhere. We see the lights on the far side of the field. I'm sure the ones above us, above us are slowly starting to warm up and turn back on, and we should have football here in, I guess, probably 10 or 15 minutes, if that long.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign, of course.
Yeah, looks like slowly but surely.
Do want to take a second and thank all of our football sponsors on the WRUL side of tonight's broadcast. Little Giant Grocery Outlet, Rice Motor Company, Hale Body Shop, First Mid Bank and Trust, Wabash Christian Therapy, Bush & Associates CPAs, People's National Bank, Hamilton Memorial Hospital District, Rush Appliance and Furniture, Citizens National Bank of Albion, Nancy J. Winters CPA, Cherry Street Automotive, Farrell Hospital, Taylor Eye Care, Roark Transport, Wabash General Hospital, and Invenergy. And thanks to all of our sponsors on the WFIW side tonight. Edward Jones Financial Advisor Abby Mawson, People's National Bank, Rush Appliance and Furniture, Wabash General Hospital, Wayne County Farm Bureau, and Fairfield Memorial Hospital. Well, looky there. A look up after a couple seconds, and that's probably about playable, wouldn't you say, Chris?
We're just
you
about
can
there.
See the football.
About 5 more minutes, I think we're going to have it. Friday night lights, indeed.
Man, what a crazy way to start this game. I think that's a good indication on how this game's going to go.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
I tell you, it's not going to be the typical Bulldog football game, I don't think.
A score update from our YouTube chat, thanks to Haley Winkleman. Johnson City 14, Flora nothing. So that game has been going on for about 17 minutes now. And Johnson City, man, I'll tell you what, Chris, I watched the film this week on that Johnson City Fairfield game from a couple of weeks ago. Johnson City, they're the real deal, and that they by far, them and Carmi 1A, 1B in the conference.
Yeah, if you recall last year, Johnson City had again Austin Brown, the young man who went on the University of Wisconsin. Everybody thought, okay, it's him and just everyone else. Well, that wasn't the case. If you looked at their line, both sides of the ball, they were good. They were big, they were physical, and they caused the Bulldogs all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
Looks like we're about ready to get back to the punt here.
Man,
so
we are
live.
Going right back into things. And you hear the crowd, they love it. Again, the drum line here for the marching Bulldogs, keeping the fans entertained. How about that? So here we go. Well, my bet was wrong. Carmi is going to punt the football after the lightning delay. And it's a high punt by Mitchell Edwards, and it will take a Fairfield bounce back at the 19 and be downed right at the Fairfield 19. So after all that, here we go. We're back.
All right. Now we got to play some defense.
Yeah. Man, what a crazy detour, I guess you could say.
It's happened before. We've had that in the past.
And that's what
when the light switch was up here.
Yeah,
we've had
Trey Mason said that it's happened before. It's been a while, but
it's not like flipping a light switch at home. These lights take a while.
Yeah.
So
here we go. 7:45 on the clock here in the scoreless first quarter. Fairfield's first offensive possession, 1st and 10 from their own 19. The foot-to-foot formation, a toss to the left side to Latrell Snyder, and Snyder puts his shoulder down right to Isaac King across the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. And Chris, there wasn't much time between the lights coming back on and us starting football. Really, for all 22 guys on both sides, you got to wake up right now.
Yeah, you've had an unexpected delay. Your body's probably gotten a little tight. They stretched out a little bit, but I tell you, if you're Fairfield, your first play off tackle, 7 yards, they are definitely flipping the script on the Bulldogs here. The Bulldogs are playing a 6-man front to combat this as well.
We approach 7 minutes left here in the first quarter. 2nd down, toss right side. It's going to be Luke Sork, the ball carrier. He's got enough for a Fairfield first down across the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Mules as they move the chains on their first drive.
And you can see how this offense is just so difficult to stop. Those foot-to-foot splits, and they come around on those counters and sweeps with a convoy. Most sweeps you might have a guard and a fullback. They come with a front side guard, a backside guard, a fullback, a tackle. You name it. They have 4 to 5 guys leading a sweep, even the quarterback.
1st down and 10 for the Mules from their own 35-yard line. Rogers toss right side to Sork, and Sork gets it across the 40. And a solid 6-yard pickup for Fairfield. Tell you what, Chris, this foot-to-foot wing offense, they're 6 yards per play, it seems like, here for Fairfield in this first drive.
And again, they're huge up front. I mean, they have a monstrous line, both sides of the ball. Carmi, other than Bryant the 300-pounder, not huge up front, very athletic, very skilled. But this is a dangerous Fairfield football team. Again, I mentioned earlier, if their offense takes the momentum of the defense, this could get a little hairy for the Dogs.
2nd and 4. Toss left side to Snyder. He gets past the first wave. Get to the 49-yard line near midfield. That's another Fairfield first down. Up to the Mule 49-yard line. Their 2nd first down of this drive.
And it's just so methodical what they do. Wing back going in motion. You have down blocks, but the backs coming around. 3, 4 guys leading through that hole. And Snyder did a fantastic job just taking his time, finding the opening, and getting a nice gain there.
Correction, it was number 8, Trey Mason. Not our Trey Mason, but Fairfield's Trey Mason. They're number 8, the ball carrier. My bad on that part. So 1st and 10 for the Mules from their own 49-yard line under center. The toss right side. This is Sork, the ball carrier. And that time Carmi gets to him at the line of scrimmage. Bryson Moore slings him down. And, again, Chris, I can imagine it's going to take a few plays, maybe even a couple drives for these guys to get really back into their rhythm after that long delay.
And you have to adjust to this offense. The first 2 or 3 plays defending this type of offense, you just got to find a crease and slow this down. That time, Tyler Gomet forced that play. That was one of their heavy sweeps coming to the right, and he did a good job getting upfield, keeping his contain, forcing that to the inside, allowing Bryson Moore, who had gotten good penetration, to get back there and make the play in the backfield.
2nd down and 10, ball at midfield, under 5 minutes left to play in this first quarter. Rogers back to pass for the first time tonight. He rolls out to his left. He's got a man chasing him. He'll take off, and he'll get a first down and more across the 35-yard line and tripped up at the Carmi 31. 1st and 10 Mules, a long run for Eric Rogers.
Well, I'll tell you, there was some confusion in the Bulldog defense there. We had a defensive end nowhere to be found, and I think someone was going to drop back in coverage, and by the time they turned around, Rogers just had all kinds of daylight.
Gavin Payton was chasing him, but just didn't have a good angle. Rogers was able to roll out, get the first down up to the Carmi 31-yard line. Fairfield trying to strike first. 4.5 to play in this scoreless first quarter. Under center is Rogers. Toss right side to Sork. He's got blockers, and he'll be taken down. It was Caleb Siebers who threw an arm in there and slung him down. About a 3-yard pickup there for Sork. Call it maybe 4 or 5, second down.
Well, you notice that Siebers and Gomat. Siebers is normally a corner, and Gomat's normally a safety. With this 6-man front we're playing, with stacking these guys in the box, these guys are now up at the defensive end position. We're having to tighten, play 4 men on the down line inside the box, so they now essentially become your de facto defensive ends. So we have 3 linebackers, 2 safeties.
3:45 left here in the first. Fullback give to Latrell Snyder up the middle, and Snyder will plow his way inside the Carmi 20. Fairfield is in the red zone, and the Mules have a first down.
And this is what you feared. I mean, if you're playing a team that's coming in here with nothing to lose, like the Mules, they would love nothing more than to play spoiler tonight for the Bulldogs, and they have been nothing short of sensational both sides of the ball so far. The Bulldogs have had little answer on both sides tonight so far. This Mules team is just gashing us right now.
1st and 10 from just inside the Carmi 20. 3:15 left to play here in the first quarter. Under center is Rogers. Turns and tosses left side to Mason, and Mason spun down just across the line of scrimmage. First Bulldog in there, I think, was Draxon Odd.
Yeah.
About a 2-yard pickup, if that.
That time Gavin Payton was able to hold his ground and force that back to the inside. They were attempting to hit that off tackle, forced him to cut it back, and Odd was there. But again, if you're Fairfield, you do what Carmi does. You milk that play clock down as low as you can and just take your time. They're in 4-down territory, obviously, so they don't have to be in a hurry for anything.
2nd down and 9. 2:35 left to play in the first quarter. Rogers under center. Toss left side to Mason. Cuts back to the inside, and he's taken down up just shy of the 10. He'll be about a yard shy of a first down for Fairfield. 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Mules.
That was a fantastic run by Mason on that play. It looked like he might get hit in the backfield. But again, was just patient, found a crease, and almost has a first down for this Mule team.
So a big play here. Definitely 4-down territory for Fairfield. It's 3rd and 2 from the Carmi 11. Bulldogs need something here defensively. It's been an impressive drive for Fairfield. Fullback give to Snyder up the middle. He bounces it out. I'm not sure if he got there. He got stuffed initially, tried to bounce it, and he might have just enough for a first down right at the Bulldog 10.
I think he does. I think they're going to call for a measurement.
And they went with the fullback give right up the middle, and Snyder's a big kid.
Yep, they gave it to him.
Listed as 5'10", 185.
Yeah.
Yep, they gave him the first down. So it's 1st and goal now for Fairfield. And this time you start as a little bit of a rain shower starts to come down, a very light drizzle. Carmi has not trailed at any point in a ball game this season. That might happen for the first time on this drive. 1:24 left here in the first. Snyder, it's a toss to the right side to Sork, and Sork will take it inside the 5 to the 4. 2nd and goal.
And again, chunks of yardage. It's like watching what the Bulldogs have been doing the last 4 weeks, but they are just methodically just puncturing holes in this Bulldog defense.
And they're taking up clock. Nearly an 8-minute possession already as we're under 1 minute to play in this first quarter of action. Fairfield trying to strike first. Under center is Rogers on 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Rogers turns, tosses it right side to Sork. He goes up the middle, and he's in for a Fairfield touchdown. Touchdown Mules with 44.8 seconds left to play in the first quarter. The lights come back on. The Fairfield offense turns on, and it's 6-0 Mules.
And if you're the Bulldogs, this is the exact nightmare you didn't want to happen. You just gave a hungry football team some life. And honestly, the Bulldogs did very little that drive to stop Fairfield. There were a couple of plays that they made, but for 95% of that drive, Fairfield had little trouble moving the football.
Mules will go for 2. They give it off to Mace up the middle, initially bounces it outside, and he won't get there as the Bulldogs step up on the 2-point play. So, as crazy as the start to this football game was, fans might be surprised, but it's Fairfield 6, Carmi nothing. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
Others have come and gone the past 70 years, but their dedication of superior service has helped them thrive for 4 generations at Rush Appliance in Fairfield and Carmi. They deliver quality Speed Queen products, and if you ever call them for service, they are in your driveway almost before you hang up your phone. Sean Rush is inviting you to check out Speed Queen washer and dryer pairs at Rush Appliance and Furniture in downtown Fairfield and Carmi.
Well, the concern switch turns on a little bit for Carmi as Fairfield marches down about 80 yards with ease to take a 6-0 lead with 44.8 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
And that stopping him on that extra point could prove to be huge.
Line drive kick. It will take a bounce. K down from the 15-yard line. Running left now goes back to the right. Allen across the 35 will be met there. Forward progress. We'll have them around the 37-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Carmi. The Bulldogs with a punt on their first possession. Again, Fairfield went 81 yards to take the first lead of the night, and the first time Carmi has trailed all season long.
So now it is absolutely becoming a mental game for the Bulldogs. They are somewhere they have never been before. And quite honestly, they were dominated that first quarter. We're still in it.
Well,
but, they did
not over yet.
They did very little to stop the Mules on that first drive, so we've got to respond.
1st and 10 under center his leg. Toss left side to King. He cuts inside. A good block from Odd, and here's King on the near sideline. Puts a shoulder down, out of bounds, across midfield. That will get the Bulldog sideline fired up. That's a Rush Appliance first down.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered there. We went with a trips bunch set to the left side there.
Carmi switching things up on the offensive side.
And I think they expected they were going to have to because Coach Townsend and Coach Simon have known each other for about 20 years. Mm-hmm. These teams know their tendencies, know their strengths and weaknesses. So I think the Bulldogs had to mix it up a little tonight.
1st and 10 now in the T formation under center of his leg. Handoff right side to King, waiting for his blocks across the 45-yard line up to the 41. About a 6-yard pickup there on first down. That might be the last play of the first quarter. We are under 20 seconds.
And Isaac doing a nice job of what he does best, keeping his legs moving, being patient. You saw his hand out on the back of his blocker, letting him lead and just slowly grinding some yards.
That will be the final play of the first quarter. It was all Mules there for the first 11 or so minutes. They lead at 6-0 over Carmi. As we go to the second quarter of play, we'll take a 1-minute break. This is Bulldog football. Carmi was number 10 in the 2A poll this week.
They're number 8?
10.
10. Wow.
JC 9.
Wayne, White, Richland, and Lawrence counties.
Citizens National Bank of Albion, know even better banking.
Member FDIC equal.
I think that first Fairfield drive was a fluke. I think just...
When you're looking for an accountant, what comes to mind?
Trustworthiness, accuracy, up-to-date knowledge of tax laws, truthiness?
Wait, truthiness? That's not even a real word.
Well, you know what I mean. Honesty, trust, accuracy, and knowledge. They're all really important.
When it comes to your accounting, you need a professional you can trust. You need Nancy J. Winter CPA. Visit nancyjwintercpa.com to learn more or call 382-2364 and visit on Cherry Street.
Start of the second quarter of play. It's going to be 2nd down and 3 for Carmi at the Fairfield 41-yard line. 6-0 Mules as they scored on their first drive, went 81 yards. Under center his leg, handoff to King up the middle. King initially met and then dropped. Back at the 41, no gain. And King just had about 255 pounds land right on him. 3rd and 4 coming up for Carmi. That was Luke Duckworth on the tackle.
Again, this big, monstrous, physical Fairfield defensive front has just controlled the Bulldog line for the most part in critical situations. It's not often this year you've heard the words Isaac King, no gain. But the Mules have done it more than once tonight. And to their credit, they're winning the battle up front at the current time.
3rd down and 2 for Carmi from the Fairfield 40. Toss near side. King, he fumbled the football. The ball's loose. And who's got it? I think Fairfield recovered. Fairfield Mules recovered the football. Wow. It was a toss to King. He couldn't corral it. And now Fairfield takes over in great field position.
I think what kind of happened there, Isaac kind of looked up for a second. I think he was looking for his blocker, and it was just an unfortunate occurrence there. Another thing the Bulldogs have not done so far this year, turn the ball over.
Man, all the momentum in the world right now is on the Fairfield sideline. The Mules march down and score. Now a Carmi fumble.
I mean, it's salt in the wound right now. And Carmi's going to really, it's very critical they stop them on this drive because the Mules do get the ball second half.
Quick snap, Rogers back to pass. Gomat takes it from a blind side. Rogers throws it incomplete. He had Tyler Gomat step by step with him as he was rolling out to pass, and it's incomplete.
Gomat just within a step or two getting a sack there, but Rogers showed you his athleticism and a good decision just to get rid of the ball rather than take a sack. But kind of surprised the Mules went with that. I think they were just trying to see if maybe we got lulled to sleep with all the heavy running they did that last drive. But if you're the Fairfield Mules, I go back to the ground game because the Bulldogs haven't done anything to stop you so far.
Second down and 10 for Fairfield from their own 45-yard line. Toss right side to Sork, looking for running room, and that time Carmi a much better job. Gavin Payton, the first Bulldog there. Trayton Vickers, Bryson Moore also brought him down. Brings up 3rd and 8. We are under 11 to go in the second quarter. 6-0 Fairfield.
Yeah, much better job by the defensive front that time, holding their ground on the line of scrimmage. And I don't know, I don't want to speculate. We got to get this third down stop first, but I don't know if Fairfield would roll the dice and go 4 downs.
Probably depends on how close you get on this third down.
Yeah, as good as their defense is playing, I would say they play field position, but we got to get a stop here first and foremost.
10.5 to go here in the second quarter. 6-0 Fairfield. And the shotgun is Rogers. He's back to pass. Looks left. Quick screen. Incomplete. Through the hands of his receiver on the play, Scotty Cuff. And it's 4th down.
And again, Mules electing to kind of get out of what they had a good rhythm in, throw the ball there. Had the receiver open, just too much heat on that throw. So huge stand by the Bulldogs there. Monstrous stand.
And so if you are Carmi, you really have to forget what has happened in these first 14 or so minutes. The lights going out. Those of you just joining us had about a 17 or 20-minute delay with the lights going off on the field during Carmi's first drive. Fairfield marched down and scored. A Carmi fumble. That's going to be a Fairfield 3-and-out. Mules are set to punt.
That's going to be a false
start.
Yeah.
Go back it up 5 yards.
Left guard moved a little quick, but, in a way, for the Bulldog, this is going to sound funny, but this might be the best thing that can happen to them.
Very humbling.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to wake them up and say, hey, we just don't show up.
Yep.
We're 4-0. That doesn't mean anything. It's a game at a time.
And Chris, it is homecoming week. And and there's things going on throughout the day, throughout the week, and it's really easy to kind of get your mind off business. And the coaches will be the first one to tell you that. So you're right. This might be one of the better things that could happen to Carmi is falling down early. Rogers will quick kick this one away, and a pretty good punt of that. Landon Driscoll falling back, has it as a 17-yard line, now running upfield on the near sideline. Driscoll doesn't have much room to run. Penalty flag flies in, and he's taken down. 2 flags fly in as he's tackled at the 28-yard line. This might be on Carmi on a possible block in the back.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I think they're going to get us. Yeah, it looked like down kind of the left side of the field there. But, again, just some things that are uncharacteristic of the Bulldogs so far this year are just happening tonight. So just got to shake it off. And this drive, again, there's still plenty of football to be played. Plenty of football to be played. You don't panic. It's only 6-0. You just get back to what you do, and you just do it well. Again, this Fairfield front, big, physical, and they've just done a good job keeping good pad level, getting under the Bulldog offensive line, knowing our tendencies. Coach Townsend does a great job scouting. Again, like I mentioned earlier, these two teams know each other well. Coach Townsend has been at the helm of the Mules since 2001, Coach Simon since 1997, so they've seen each other a lot.
So 1st down and 10 for Carmi now. The penalty was on the Bulldogs on the return. And so it's 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. Under center is Legg. He turns and hands it off to King up the middle, and King will follow a Gavin Payton block all the way up to the 20. About a 6 or 7 yard pickup for Isaac on first down. 2nd and 4 coming up. We are under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. 6-0 Carmi, or 6-0 Fairfield, that is.
We're used to saying Carmi with the lead, so exactly what you needed if you're the Bulldogs there. Good 6-yard pickup. 9:40 left to play in this second quarter, so plenty of time. No need to panic if you're the Bulldogs.
2nd down and 5. Under center is Legg. Turns and gives it off to King. Second man through on the right side. King met initially, and he's got nowhere to go. And Fairfield's defensive line is doing a good job of penetrating up front. And it's 3rd down. They called a gain of about 1. 3rd down and maybe 3 coming up here for Carmi. And Chris, obviously the line of scrimmage is always the most important factor in a ball game. But really tonight, this big Fairfield defensive line, they can cover up these Carmi holes in the run game. It's making a difference so far.
Yeah, they are just doing an outstanding job of winning the battle up front. And that's been the difference in this game.
3rd down and 2. Under center is Legg. They toss it right side to Odd. Odd cuts upfield. Draxon's got a first down across the 30-yard line. And he's taken out of bounds, shot to 35. That's enough for a rush appliance first down. So they had been going toss to King. They go toss to Odd that time, and he gets the first.
Beautiful cut by Drax. It looked like he might run into a wall there before he even got back to the line of scrimmage, but he made a nice move, just got the edge, kind of juked inside, cut to the outside, good vision, got the pickup we needed. That was a monster first down for the Bulldogs because at the very least gives us some breathing room.
Yeah. 8:47 left here in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 33-yard line. 6-0 Fairfield. Handoff King left side, and King runs into a Fairfield defensive lineman, tried to spin off of him, and Isaac is brought down at the 36.
Well, that lineman he tried to run over and around was a 6-foot, 305-pound Caleb Gonzalez.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, good luck moving that. Isaac did his best, but that is a brick wall he ran into. And you can see it, Cole, the movement off the line of scrimmage that this line has been accustomed to getting. You know, this Fairfield defensive front is game. And again, they're big, they're physical, and they are really giving us a challenge tonight.
2nd down and 7. Under center is Legg in the T formation. Gives it off to Odd, left side. Odd gets it across the 45-yard line, up to the Carmi 46. That's a rush appliance first down. Draxon Odd with a couple of first down carries on this possession.
And I think it's obvious that some other guys are definitely going to have to step up tonight.
Yeah.
Because Fairfield has every eye, every gun loaded and pointed at Isaac King.
Mm-hmm.
So Odd, Dodson, Legg, they're going to have to come up with some plays tonight.
And they're very capable of doing so.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 for Carmi from their own 46-yard line. 7:45 left here in the first quarter. 6-0 Mules. T formation once again. Handoff King right side. King following his blockers across midfield, keeping those legs turning. Initially pushed back, but forward progress will get him up to the 46-yard line. About an 8-yard pickup there for Isaac.
And Isaac, that was just a determination run right there. He's saying, all right, I've had enough being stopped at the line of scrimmage. I'm just going to get behind my lineman and do what I do best, keep my legs grinding and just slowly get some chunks of yards. This Bulldog offensive line is starting to liven up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mules are getting less penetration. We're getting some movement off the ball. It's what you expect from this Bulldog team.
2nd down and 3, 7 minutes to go in this second quarter. Handoff Odd left side. Odd trying to bounce it. He almost had running room, and he's tripped up across the 40. If he stays on his feet, it would have been a foot race, but he's got the first down nonetheless. A rush appliance first down up to the Fairfield 36-yard line, 37-yard line.
Just classic Bulldog football, T formation. The crossbuck off the left side, number 22, Reagan Taylor just saved a touchdown there. He got him by the shoelace. Otherwise, that was a touchdown for for Drax Odd.
And you're right, Chris. When they've got everything ready for number 1, number 25, pretty shifty as well. 1st and 10, under center is Legg. They move on in motion. They fake the toss. Legg back to pass. Throws a deep ball. Gomad is there, and he tried to bring it in. It might have been a touchdown if he caught it. just off his fingertips, second down. He had him, and it was a good throw from Moore and maybe just a little bit too far out in front.
It was perfectly set up. It was perfect timing for that play action call. Gomet had the step on the defender. The safety, I think Tyler just turned his head a second too late, didn't quite see the ball. If he gets his head around maybe a second sooner, that's probably a catch. But you're right, Cole. That was excellent football. Just missed on that one. Good play call. That was a good time for that.
Second down and 10 now. 6:29 left to go in the second quarter. 6-0 Fairfield. Under center is Leg in the T formation. They give it off left side to Odd, and this time he is taken down to the backfield. Number 60 for the Mules. That was Peyton Allen, the 6'2", 255-pound offensive lineman. Brings up a third down and long here for Carmi. And again, is it 4-down territory?
I think it is. I think in this situation you have to. But, yeah, that time just read beautifully. The defensive end, the tackle, was just not blocked on that play. And the Bulldogs are once again finding themselves in unfamiliar territory, 3rd and long.
Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd down and 11. Under center is Leg. They go back to pass. Leg dumps it off a screen to King. He's got a couple of blockers in front and breaks one tackle. King's got room to go inside the 30 at the 25-20. King is taken down at the Fairfield 14-yard line. What a fantastic job by Isaac King, turning nothing into something. 1st and 10. A Rush Appliance first down for the Bulldogs.
Well, first of all, beautiful play call, the screen. His center, Nelson Ryder, got out in the flats there, and I thought he had a block, just barely missed his man. But the leg strength of King once again comes through. What looked like a 3-yard loss becomes a monster game for the Bulldogs. I actually thought he was going to throw it to Nate Brown downfield.
5.5 to go. Carmi threatening for the first time tonight. They trail 6-0. Under center is Leg. Toss left side to Odd. He's got running room, and that running room closes up quickly as Luke Sort gets to him. But Odd takes it up, still about a 5-yard pickup to the 10-yard line. 2nd and 5 coming up. We are at 5:10 to go in the second quarter. 6-0 Fairfield.
Well, that 3rd down conversion on that screen was the biggest one of the night without question, because if we don't convert that, we're looking at a 4th and long, and momentum definitely shifts then. So that was huge. And then Odd with a nice run. Again, 2nd and 5. We're moving the chains, knocking on the door. Just be patient and punch this thing in.
2nd down and 5 from the 10-yard line. Leg under center, hands it off to King, up the middle. King is going to take it inside the 5. He's got enough for a first down, up to the 4. That's a Rush Appliance first down, 1st and goal for the Bulldogs with 4:35 to play in the first half.
Well, we saw that little bunch set, we call that, to the right, a mini trips formation to the right. Thought we might call a sweep out of that. King hits that basically just on a fullback dive up the middle. And the Bulldogs, this was a much, much needed drive.
Fairfield won't get the ball to start the second half, but still 4:20 left in the second quarter. Under center is Leg. He gives it off to Odd. Left side, Odd looking for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Carmi, White County. 3-yard run by Drexen Odd.
And you talk about a much needed answer. The Bulldogs just provided it. They were deep in their territory, faced a couple 3rd and longs. Drax Odd with a huge 3rd and long conversion run around the right side there, deep in our territory. Isaac King on the screen pass on 3rd and long, getting a huge first down. 2 monster plays just in perfect time. Now let's see if we can answer with a conversion.
Carmi not going to try a PAT kick. They're going to go for 2 in a 6-6 ball game.
Look for Odd off the left side.
Under center is Leg. They get the Mules to jump offside. Get a yard closer.
Classic Kurt Simon football there. He always pulls that out of the hat. The lineman set. They go down to their stance, get a hard count from the quarterback. Defense jumps. Been seeing that play for about 25 years now. Always works.
So again, Bulldogs will go for 2 now from the 1-yard line. 4:14 left in the second quarter. Carmi trying to take the lead. Leg. They went with the give. I believe that was King up the middle, or was it Odd?
Odd on the left side.
Second time through was Odd on the left side, and the Bulldogs have the lead with 4:14 to go in the second quarter. A nice-looking drive. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
Your partner in auto repair. That's Cherry Street Automotive in Carmi. You get service, expertise, and a promise you'll drive away satisfied. Complete engine and body repair, 24-hour-a-day wrecker and towing service, tires from sales and service, and repair including muffler service, brakes, shocks, suspension, and more. When quality counts, count on Cherry Street Automotive in Carmi. Your partner in auto repair. Call 382-7165 today.
Cole Carter and Chris Myers, 4:14 to play in the second quarter. Carmi with a nice-looking drive marches down the field. They cap it off with a 3-yard touchdown run by Draxonod, and they take an 8-6 lead here over Fairfield. Mitchell Edwards will kick this one away for the first time tonight, and it's a line drive kick directly into the Maroon platoon.
And if you wondered if this was going to be a good game, we got our answer.
Oh, absolutely.
We had said last week that don't expect this to be a one-sided game and don't look at records. Expect this to be a fight, and that's exactly what it's been. But I tell you, credit the Bulldogs for regaining their composure, collecting themselves, so to speak, and just saying, okay, we still got a ton of football. We still do what we do really well. Let's go out and do it. And two monster third down conversions, keeping that drive alive and allowing the Bulldogs to take the lead in this game. Now, I'll be interested to see if Fairfield just goes straight back to that wedge and just starts running the counters and the inside tosses. They tried to get a little fancy that last drive, spreading out. Let's see if they just go back to the ground game.
So 1st and 10 for the Mules from their own 35-yard line. Under center is Rogers, toss right side to Sork, and he gets struck down in the backfield. Caleb Siebers slung him down to the ground. A big loss on the play. 2nd and long coming up here for the Mules.
And big Bryson Moore back there too. I mean, he was lightning through that gap. Him or Siebers, I think you called it right, Siebers, but Moore, first one to get a hand on him and slow him down. And that's what you got to do against this formation. The minute your lineman pulls, you got to do what's called get on his hip. If you're the defensive tackle and you're lined up on the guard, the minute that guard pulls, you get right on his hip, he'll take you to the play. That time, a nice job by Moore getting that penetration.
2nd down and 11 here for Fairfield. Back to pass here is Rogers, or he's actually going to run to the left side. Rogers has the angle. He's got the first down, a foot race down the near sideline. One man to beat. Rogers across the 20-yard line. Still going. He's going to take it for a touchdown. Touchdown, Fairfield. He goes 66 yards, and the Mules are back in front.
If you wondered about his athletic ability, you just saw it. Our edge contain was broken down. A couple players jumped inside. Rogers made a nice cut, went down the sideline. A couple Bulldogs had a chance to get him down. And just like that, Fairfield responds.
Yeah, he has been their go-to guy, whether it's passing or running the football. Probably the most athletic quarterback in the conference. And he showed it right there, broke multiple tackles, and just like that, Fairfield has reclaimed the lead at 12-8.
Well, you learned why you have to. It's so important when you're an end or a corner, why it's so important to do what's called keep your contain. If you let an athletic quarterback like that outside, especially, the Bulldogs are having to pack the box against this defense, so you're not going to have a lot of safety help. And that time, both our end and our corner kind of dove inside, and he got the edge and never looked back. So just like that, Fairfield responds.
So the Mules will go for 2, and there was some sort of confusion with the play clock or the play call, one or the other, but it will result in a Justin Townsend timeout. We'll take one as well. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
Hospital is committed to providing quality health care to our community, and we're always striving to deliver more care close to home. We now offer more services: orthopedic care, cancer care, and ear, nose, and throat care. We've added more locations, Harrisburg Family Medicine, and a new larger Carmi Family Medicine clinic. We offer more convenient options like online scheduling for appointments, lab draw sites at clinics, and early walk-in appointments. We're Farrell Hospital, here for you.
Back here at Carmi, 3:16 to play in the second quarter. Fairfield's going to go for 2 after reclaiming the lead on a 64-yard touchdown run. by Eric Rogers. And, wow, Chris, I mean, you really got to tip your cap to the way Fairfield has played in this first half.
Absolutely. And it's not a surprise to me. I expected both teams to come out loaded for bear, and I expected this Fairfield Mules team to kind of almost have a chip on their shoulder coming into tonight.
Absolutely.
Because not many people were expecting them to hang with Carmi. And they are. They're doing more than that. They're winning.
And the shotgun is Rogers. They move Sork out wide. Rogers runs it up the middle. He didn't get there.
Bryson Moore
again brought him back.
Tried to run a little speed option there, and Moore stayed at home.
And so Fairfield 0 for 2 on 2-point attempts tonight, and it keeps the score at 12-8 with 3:16 to play here in the second quarter. We'll keep it here, as if you're Carmi, still plenty of time to possibly get a score before the end of half. And really, Chris, it's important to do that because Fairfield will get the ball to start the third quarter.
Yes, and with the 12-8 lead, the Mules, you've seen, they can do their own version of ground and pound. And if they go into this half with the lead, number one, the Mules have a ton of confidence right now. No question. No matter what happens this drive, they've got confidence. But if the Bulldogs do not score here, they've got more than confidence. They're believing they can hang on and win this game.
Yep.
So it's imperative that Carmi responds right now, because quite honestly, the momentum has been with Fairfield the majority of this game.
Want to remind those fans at home, we will have all of the homecoming halftime festivities over on the WRUL Facebook page. So just search WRUL 97.3 on Facebook. We'll have all the halftime festivities, the Queen coordination, and the band performance for you there. Isaac King on the kickoff return it's Cade Allen. Gets across the 30 up to the Carmi 31-yard line. So 3:09 to go in the second quarter. Fairfield leading 12-8. We'll see what Carmi can do on what would be their final drive of the first half, assuming.
And this is not a strength of the Bulldog team, having to move quickly in a short amount of time. It's just not our MO. So you may just see us just kind of keep the ball on the ground, run out the clock, be content to go down half 4 points. You may see us take a chance with some play-action passes.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 32-yard line. Under center is Legg. They move a man in motion, hand off to Odd up the gut, and Odd will plow his way for about 4 or 5 up across the 35. He'll be second down at about 6 here for Carmi. We're under 3 minutes to go in the first half, 12-8 Fairfield.
And the other thing you have to be careful about, why you don't want to move, it sounds almost counterproductive, why you don't want to move too quickly and maybe throw a ball and get an incompletion, is you're still pretty deep in your own territory, and you don't want to leave time on the clock and give the ball back to Fairfield, because we've seen how quick they can move it up and down the field.
T formation, 2nd down and 6. Under center is Legg. He gives it off to Dotson up the middle, and Fairfield read that one perfectly. Dotson nowhere to go. Forward progress, maybe got him back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 6 coming up for Carmi.
And I think you're going to have no choice. You're either going to have to throw a play action here, and Fairfield's probably going to be waiting on it, or you just try to run the ball again, maybe hit Odd on that cross buck or King on an ISO, just whatever we can do just to keep the clock running and somehow move the chains here. The big thing, I think, what Coach Summon wants to do is just take as much time off this clock as he can if we're not going to be in scoring range.
3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Under center is Legg. They move Dotson in motion. They fake the toss. Right side handoff to King. He tries to go up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go. It's going to bring up 4th down. I assume Fairfield will use a timeout here, as we are at 90 seconds left to go in the second quarter, and
they have not.
They will take it now. I see Justin Townsend signal, and heads up by him, so he burns his second timeout with 1:22 left to play here in the second quarter. And Chris, are you kind of surprised by the play call there for Carmi? Because you got to be careful. You don't want to take any risk in your own territory. Fairfield gets the ball to start the third quarter, but 3 runs there, it's going to be a punt.
I'm a little surprised. I think the strategy he wanted, Coach Summon is wanting to do, is, again, I think he just wanted to milk as much clock as he could, keep it on the ground, not turn it over, and maybe just get this thing to half. If he was going to take a chance in the area, it was going to have to be on 3rd down. So I'm I'm a little surprised at that play call there because I thought we might do something different to try and get a first down, at least make an attempt. But now in a 4th and 5 situation, if you go for it here and don't get it, the Mules with all the momentum in the world, this could be very, very dangerous. I think Carmi may come out and just make Fairfield think about things, maybe try to do a hard count. But eventually I think we got to punt this football.
Well, Mitchell Edwards is still on the sideline, so I would say you got a good guess there, Chris. I think they're going to come out, try to get him to go offside here. I'd be shocked if we run a play.
Yeah, you can see how we're rushing to the line of scrimmage. I think that's going to be what we're going to try to do.
4th and 4, under center is Legg. Moves Dotson in motion. Fairfield jumped but didn't go across the line of scrimmage. And Kurt Simon calls a timeout. So the Mules almost jumped. It was number 50, the defensive tackle, Vega Stanley. He didn't cross the ball.
Now you see the punt team.
Yep, and now the punt team will come on.
On what I suspected, almost. But I think, if you're Carmi, now you've got to keep them out of the end zone right now.
Absolutely. And this is a Fairfield team that can easily score in 81 seconds.
And you're going to have to do a gut check at halftime, to say the least. Because you can tell this Bulldog team is shell-shocked right now. We are absolutely shell-shocked, but that's credit to the Fairfield Mules because they've come out ready to play tonight. There's just no other way to say it. Their big men up front have dominated. Their quarterbacks made a huge play. They've taken a page out of our book with a big, slow, methodical drive, their first drive. The Mules have just outplayed the Bulldogs this first half, plain and simple.
1:21 left to play here in the second quarter. 4th and 4. Carmi set to punt. And the formation is Mitchell Edwards. He gathers. He'll punt it. It's a short kick, and a fair catch will be made by number 22 for Fairfield, Regan Taylor, at the 34-yard line.
And I think if you're Fairfield here, you'll see them take one or two approaches. If they come out in their spread look, then you know they're going to try to get a strike, quick strike, and maybe go for a home run. If not,
because they only have one timeout.
I would, if they don't do that, I'd look for them just to, run this thing out and be content to get to half up 12-8. I'd be more than content if you're Fairfield coming in here tonight, being up 12-8 on the Bulldogs.
1:16 left to play here in the second quarter. Fairfield's got the football at their own 34-yard line. They've got the lead 12-8. Under center is Rogers. They fake the toss, handoff up the middle. Ball's on the ground. Rogers able to fall on it. Fairfield catches a huge break.
That was almost disaster for the Mules, so I think you're going to see them just milk this thing down just for that reason by itself.
We are now under a minute to go here in the second quarter.
Don't be shocked to see them just take a knee and get this thing to halftime.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, if you're Fairfield, you are very content with a 4-point lead at halftime.
Especially when you have the ball to start the second half against the Bulldog defense, who finally buckled down on that second drive, but other than that, hasn't answered.
The give is to Snyder up the middle, and he's going to have nowhere to go, and I will assume that will be the final play of this first half. A wacky and surprising first half of that. We had the light outage for about 15 to 20 minutes. Fairfield took a lead. Carmi took it back. Fairfield then took it back. And it's going to give us the halftime score of 12-8. And wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall in the Carmi locker room here at halftime?
The bottom line is the Bulldogs are just going to have to put their nose to the grindstone, as the old saying goes, and get back to playing power football up front because, again, it's been all Mules this first half.
Halftime score, Fairfield 12, Carmi-White County 8. We will take a 3-minute break. We come back. We'll have some halftime stats for you. This is Bulldog football.
Taylor Eye Eye Care on Falcon Avenue in Carmi has over 500 eyeglass frames to choose from in stock. Also, a large selection of designer sunglass, non-prescription or prescription. Taylor Eye Care treats every patient like a member of their family, going above and beyond the expected for a truly memorable eye care experience. Call Taylor Eye Care at 618-382-4683 for your next eye exam. That's 618-382-4683. Taylor Eye Care, excellence in eye care.
Here, I'll have you take it.
Roark Transport in Carmi has earned a reputation of dependable hauling that many in this area have depended on. Roark Transport now also offers rock, dirt, and lime hauling from parking lots, driveways, and washouts. Roark Transport can handle all your rock and dirt hauling needs. Farmers can also depend on Roark Transport to deliver their lime when and where they need it. For your next driveway or parking lot job, remember Roark Transport for fast, dependable service. Call Roark Transport today at 265-366.
So
Wabash General Hospital. People you know, helping people you love. From treating all aspects of heart health, diagnosis, treatment, and management of your heart condition to an orthopedic team ready to restore your quality of life by improving your mobility, flexibility, endurance, and strength. Call Wabash General Hospital today. 618-262-8621. Wabash General Hospital. Committed to combining passion and knowledge to heal. Visit wabashgeneral.com for more information. The alarm sounds, coffee brews, and the porch light guides your steps toward another busy day. Just like you, Invenergy Solar is up with the sun. Invenergy's Boomtown Solar project will create up to 400 construction jobs and create enough electricity to power 40,000 American homes. Invenergy expects to invest $60 million over the project's lifetime, helping illuminate the future of all in White County. Private investment developed on private property with public benefits. Invenergy.
You can buy more of what you want when you save on what you need. Save on meal ingredients by shopping Little Giant Grocery Outlet in Carmi. Little Giant's team of buyers are constantly scanning wholesalers, looking for pantry favorites and meal ingredients at astonishing savings just so you can shop confidently, knowing that you can come in anytime and find great deals from fresh cuts of meat and grocery items to deli, fresh produce, and frozen goods. See just how much more your dollar buys at Little Giant Grocery, Carmi, Illinois.
Hey Tom, what's up, man? You look awful.
Yeah, well, I think I just shitted myself to death.
Dude, that's brutal.
Yeah, I should have bought the truck, should have taken advantage of the deal. It was perfect, and everything about Rice is nice, but I just wasn't sure. Then I spent the next hours, days, weeks, and months shooting myself until I just couldn't take it anymore.
Let me tell you what you ought to do. You ought to buy a truck from Rice Motors in Carmi.
Hop on and take ricemotors.com for a test drive today. Everything about Rice is nice. Rice Motors.
Your score, Fairfield 12, the Bulldogs 8. The halftime show is sponsored by Jordan Funeral Group, remembering lives well lived and honoring the tradition of Bulldog athletics. Visit jordanfuneralgroup.com for more information. Those of you that want to watch the halftime festivities here on Homecoming, go on over to the WRUL Facebook channel, Facebook page. We will have the festivities going on right now there on our Facebook channel. But, Chris, really a surprising first half. I think everybody wearing maroon and white is a little bit shocked. Fairfield, you're right. They had nothing to lose. They came into this game, and they have played by far their best half football all season.
Well, we said it last week. You know, records go out the window when it's teams like Carmi and Fairfield that go back over 100 years playing each other, local rivals, NEC rivals, then came to the Black Diamond together. But Fairfield was a very, very dangerous football team just for the reasons we looked at in warm-ups and we saw that first drive. Number one, they are huge up front. They are a big, physical, dominant offensive presence on the line and defensively. And that first series on defense, you could just see they stymied the Bulldogs. Other than the first down run by Odd, I mean, Carmi couldn't get much going. And from there, we've quite frankly been shell-shocked. This team has been somewhere they've never been. They've never been stopped on their first drive. And the Mules get their possession, and they do something else no one's done to us. Take it down on their first possession, methodically pound the ball down the field, taking a page out of our book and punching one in. And next thing you know, it's 6-0. The Bulldogs did respond. They woke up, got a good drive of their own, converted a couple of critical third and longs, got in the end zone, got the conversion. But the other aspect of this Mules game, this Mules team that you can't forget about, they got a very athletic quarterback. He scrambles, breaks contain, 66 yards later, they're in the end zone. And right now, if you're the Carmi Bulldogs, you've got to dig deep. It's a gut check because, I mean, let's be honest, this team's back against the wall. And they have not shown, other than that second drive, they haven't shown a big, just coming up and just absolutely flat stopping the run. And if the Mules come out, they get the ball this next possession in the third quarter. If they come out and just play power football and pound the ball the way they did that first drive, and we go behind another score, it's going to get tough because we are not a come-from-behind quick strike football team.
Yeah, I think the assumption this week, based on what scores and records, people thought this was going to be a game that Carmi should win by multiple scores. And I think a lot of folks here in town probably thought that as well. And when you take that into consideration in this rivalry and how Fairfield plays their game, that foot-to-foot offense, that wing tee offense, it is hard to stop. They didn't go to it at the beginning of the year. They started with it again last week. It's worked tonight, and it's got to have a 4-point lead at halftime.
And you had that feeling. I had that feeling coming here tonight. Fairfield was not coming down here to lay down.
Yep.
Anyone who thought that for a second, Carmi's 4-0, they're having a great season, we're 2-2, we lost our best running back, we're just going to come here and lay down. No. If anything, it was the opposite. I think the Mules have shown they're more motivated to play football probably than they have this whole season. And that's the danger. I'm not saying Carmi has done this. You're 4-0. It's your homecoming week. You got a lot going on. A lot can potentially distract you. That's kind of the perfect poisonous setup, I call it, not to borrow the Nick Saban rat poison thing, but it's the perfect storm for an upset or to kind of let down your guard or to expect to, hey, we're going to do what we've done the previous weeks. This Mule team, if there's one strength they have and something we haven't seen a team that's this big up front. And they're just, the first 4 teams we played were more kind of either spread teams or perimeter teams. This is a team, and that offense comes straight at you. And right now, at their size, they're 300, 280 pounders up front. They're doing something no one's done. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. So the Bulldogs are just going to have to make some adjustments. You're down linemen up front, and they did it a little before that the quarterback escaped and got that run. They're just going to have to dig deep, control their gaps. You notice it a lot. A lot of these plays out of that wedge, these linemen are pulling, sweeps, counters. The D linemen got to get on the hips of the offensive linemen that are pulling. The defensive ends, as we just saw, you can't let contain break. You have to force things to the inside. And if you're going after that quarterback, like we found out, again, you've got to contain and you've got to tackle because right now it's the most critical drive of this opinion.
We both played football, and I know I dealt with a couple of lightning delays in my playing time. Of course, we had the lights go out there on that first Carmi drive. That you might not think as a fan at home or a parent that makes a difference, but when you spend an hour getting warmed up, the music's playing, the fans are loud, and you're getting fired up and ready to play, then all of a sudden you're said, okay, we got to wait 30 minutes, 20 minutes. It makes a difference, and I think Carmi, that first quarter especially, they just really weren't in the rhythm compared to Fairfield, who I just seemed to stay kind of in the zone during that break.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that can affect both teams. Again, you hit the nail on the head because what happens, you've got your adrenaline going, you're in the rhythm of playing a game, and all of a sudden you got to stop. You got a half-hour delay. Well, you got to keep your body loose. You got to get your mind refocused. Just a delay like that can throw everything out of whack, both physically and mentally. But again, that's for both teams. Well, not just the Bulldogs. The Mules were having to deal with that. But I think the biggest thing along with that tonight is just I think Fairfield, quite frankly, has just come out more ready to play. I think they've been hungrier. I think they've just came out that first drive, played solid defense, and now they're believing. To me, them setting the tone by stopping the Bulldogs in that first drive, that got their mindset of, hey, we can play with these guys. We've got nothing. We're 2-2. Our season's not over. We're going to play spoiler tonight. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a matter of the Bulldogs kind of splashing some cold water on their face and taking a breath and saying, all right, let's go back out there. Let's get a stop and let's fight and let's do what we do.
In terms of X's and O's, if you are Carmi on either side of the football, what do you change? I mean, the offense didn't necessarily not work there in that first half. Fairfield just they're big up front. We talked about it. But Carmi did some things right there in that first half. What do you change here in the second half?
I think offensively, the Bulldogs don't have to make huge changes, but they're going to have to mix in some of those play-action passes a little more. And honestly, it may not hurt because a couple big plays came when we went to that little bunch set. We may have to change our formations up a little bit. We're going to have to put the ball in the air a little more than what we have. I know we're not comfortable doing that, but we said all year there's going to come a time where we're going to have to do it. Again, the screen pass was a big play for us. Leg had that big throw to Gomat, just missed his fingertips. So every time we put it in the air, something's been there. But I think we're going to have to mix that in a little more than what we normally do. Defensively, it's just a matter of our linemen rising to the challenge. You're facing, quite frankly, a bigger, stronger front than what you've seen all season. They outweigh you at every position, and they're wedged in there together. You're just going to have to dig down. The lineman got to get gap control, get penetration in the gaps. If your lineman pulls, get on his hip. Ends, keep your contained. You're just going to have to play smart football. Stop the run, get them out of that wedge formation, force them to spread a little bit. And if they do, play good assignment football in the secondary. But as we found out, the ends, you cannot break contain. You cannot get caught, sucked inside the tackles and allow that quarterback to get out. Because unlike the past weeks, he's shown. Their quarterback, Rogers, showed tonight. You let him outside, it's 6 points.
Halftime score, Fairfield 12, Carmi 8. We will take a 3-minute break. Second half right around the corner right here on 97.3 WRUL and 104.9 WFIW.
It's no accident that more and more people trust Hale Body Shop when they need collision repair.
David and the gang at Hale Body Shop work hard to get your car back to you as soon as possible.
They understand how busy you are.
They also understand that sometimes life happens.
And if you find yourself in an accident,
remember, when it does, there's only one place to go.
Hale Body Shop in Carmi, way out there on Possum Road.
Life can be complicated, but managing your money should be simple. Whether you need to check your balances, deposit a check, pay bills, pay a friend, or transfer money to retirement savings, First Mid Online and Mobile Banking keep your finances simple every step along the way. With First Mid Bank and Trust, you can manage your money anytime right from your smartphone. You can even sign up for real-time alerts to stay on top of your account activity. Learn more about these conveniences at firstmid.com. First Mid Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Share your talents and grow your caregiving career without sacrificing life. Now hiring RNs, LPNs, and CNAs at Wabash Christian Village. Our professionals enjoy flexible schedules, competitive wages, a paycheck, advanced program, continuing education, leadership opportunities, and so much more. You can make a difference with a healthcare career, and there's never been a better time to make a change. Apply today at wbcbcareers.org.
Personal one-to-one service. That's a promise we make to all of our clients. This is Ashley Ingram with Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Our firm was built on the idea of treating all of our clients like they are the only client we have. For bookkeeping, payroll, financial planning, and of course, income tax preparation, turn to a firm that is large enough to trust and small enough to care. Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Call us at 382-4151 or visit us at butch.com. That's BOTSCH.com.
In today's environment, being able to do all of your banking from home is not only convenient, but a necessity. People's National Bank makes it easy for you to do your banking without actually going to the bank. From online banking, mobile banking, free mobile deposit to transferring funds and paying bills, it's easy and convenient for you to do your banking all from your mobile phone or computer. Get started by going to peoplesnationalbank.com to sign up for online banking today. People's National Bank, making it easy to bank from anywhere. Member FDIC.
Your family's care team is close to home at Hamilton Memorial Family Clinics in McLeansboro and Carmi. From routine care, vaccines and DOT physicals, to disease management, x-ray, lab work, and COVID testing. With 9 providers and 8 specialty care clinics, Hamilton Memorial has you covered. Plus, for those unexpected illnesses, our weekend walk-in clinics in Carmi and McLeansboro. Hamilton Memorial Hospital Family Clinics. Here for you now, like we've always been.
Halftime here at Homecoming. Bulldogs trailing Fairfield 12-8. Cole Carter and Chris Myers with you. We've got J.C. Tinsley back at the WRUL studio. Drew Poughton is getting us on the air. For those of you in Fairfield on 104.9 WFIW, Haley Winkleman and Whitney McGuire are here in the press box getting us on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. Those of you wanting to watch the Marching Bulldogs here at halftime with some Marching Bulldog audio, go over to the WRUL Facebook page. We've got that streaming there. Congratulations to Sailor Mason, winner of the, say that right way, the 2022 Homecoming Queen, Sailor Mason. So congratulations to her. But Chris, we got 24 more minutes of football coming up, and there's no question these first couple of minutes, the first Fairfield drive, the Mules will get the ball to start the half. Carmi's got to get a stop and score. It's simple as that.
It is that critical because the Mules have all the momentum in the world. The Bulldogs have not really done anything except for one drive to shut down this offense. So if you're Carmi, if there was ever a drive that you've got to get Fairfield off the field, it's this one, because you cannot allow them to get this ball, take a lot of time off the clock, methodically drive the ball downfield, and if they get another score, if they get, say, the touchdown, 18-8, make it a 20-8 game, then the Bulldogs are definitely out of their comfort zone. They're out of their rhythm. They're going to have to do things that they don't normally do. They're going to have to maybe get in the spread. They're going to have to throw the ball, which is not our MO. You can do that. You can stay with your game plan if you keep it with the score. But if you're down 2 scores, everything changes. So I think this is, without question, the most critical defensive stand that the Bulldogs are going to have to make this whole season to this point.
And we've asked ourselves pretty much every game this year, are we going to see Mitchell Edwards tonight? Are we going to see Mitchell Edwards tonight? We might have a chance to see him. If Carmi needs to score points in a hurry, if they need to throw the football, that's a lot to throw a sophomore out there. I don't think we'll get to that point, but if Carmi needs to, we think they're ready to do that here tonight if it comes around.
It does open the thought process, okay, just how much are we going to have to mix things up? And I think it's all going to be determined by what happens this opening drive. If the Bulldogs can get the Mules off the field and get the ball back, then you can stay in your comfort zone. But if disaster strikes here and the Mules either one, bust a big play and score, or even worse, keep the ball almost a whole quarter, get a 7-8 minute drive and punch one in, then there's no question Carmi's going to have to get out of their box, so to speak, and mix things up. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that may have to happen tonight.
Again, your halftime score, Fairfield 12, Carmi White County 8. Carmi had to punt on their first drive. Fairfield marched down after the lights went out, the big about 20-minute delay. Fairfield drove 81 yards, capped it off with a 4-yard touchdown run by Luke Sork with about 44 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Carmi would answer, though, a couple of drives later, capped it off with a 3-yard run by Draxon Odd. 2-point score was good also to put them ahead 8-6. Fairfield would score about a minute later, a 66-yard run by the quarterback Eric Rogers with 3:16 on the second quarter clock, puts us where we are. Chris, if you are Kurt Simon and crew in terms of the coaching staff, is it more or less, are you upset with the way the first half went, or are you more focused on what you've got to do here in the second half? Because obviously it's frustrating, everything that's going on, that went on in that first quarter. You got to put it behind you and just play football.
Yeah, I don't think you're so much mad at your team. I think you're more, hey, guys, we told you. You've got to be ready to play. This I can assure you, this is not a complete shock to Kurt Simon, because he said it last week. Fairfield is a very dangerous football team. It's kind of another old saying, sometimes the most dangerous animal is a wounded animal.
Yeah.
And the Mules have been that this year with injuries, and they came into this game with a massive chip on their shoulder, and they wanted nothing more than to play spoiler tonight. So I think what you got to tell your football team, if you're Kurt Simon, is, okay, number one, we can't panic, because you just can't. There's still plenty of time. It's a 4-point game. No reason to panic. What you tell your team is, hey, let's wake up. You've taken their best shot. They're for real. But you know what? You guys are for real. You're going to have to come out here and play defense. You're going to play smart, physical defense. You're going to have to D-line, get in the gaps like we talked about, get penetration, ends, corners. You can't let anything outside. You just have to play solid, fundamental defensive football, because I think you're going to get a heavy dose of that wedge here to start this third quarter, because Fairfield, what they're banking on is their offense to keep clicking like it has and keep the ball away from Carmi. So if you're the defense, you've got to step up your intensity 100,000 times what it was in that first half, but you don't panic. I think it's a mixture of both. You just tell them, look, yes, we haven't played our best football. They have, but I still believe in you guys. Plenty of time. It's a one-score game. Take it a play at a time.
And you made a good point there in that first half, Chris. This might be the best thing that could have happened to Carmi, rather just tonight or throughout the whole season. I mean, obviously, when you're destroying teams, scoring 40-plus points a game, haven't trailed all year, haven't punted but only a handful of times, it's tough to get humbled, and especially here on homecoming when everybody was thinking Carmi's going to run away with this game, and here you are. In terms of the entire outlook of this season, this might be the best thing that could have happened to Carmi trailing at halftime.
Yeah, it woke him up. And there's always that team, at any level of football. There is always a team that plays, even in I point to the NFL during Brady's dominant run with the Patriots. You always knew it was always a team like the Baltimore Ravens, a real physical, big defense that presented challenges. It's the same thing. Some matchups are just tough for other teams. And I think you're seeing that tonight. We've played teams that are more what we call perimeter teams. Spread the ball out, get to the edges. This team is just huge, number one, and they're physical. They outweigh us up front, and they're just kind of giving us a taste of their own medicine. So I think a lot of it in this second half boils down to, okay, it was just so far, the first half was a matchup nightmare with us. Now we know what they do. We collect ourselves, and we're just going to have to start making some plays, especially defensively. And I agree with you, Cole. I think offensively we can still move the ball. It's not going to be, we're not going to maybe hit a cross buck and an ISO for 10, 15 yards of play like we have these first 4 games. They realize that now. We're going to have to mix it up some. But we can't panic. We'll take the 3 yards, the 4 yards, the 3. You just got to take it. You take what you can get. Don't panic. And just remember, there's a whole second half of football to play. We've shown we can get them off the field. We just got to do it again this drive.
The great Denny Ayrton always said, if you get 3 yards of play, 3 times 4 is 12. That's a first down. That's all you need.
There you go.
The halftime show is produced courtesy of the Jordan Funeral Group. Remembering lives well lived and honoring the tradition of Bulldog Athletics, visit jordanfuneralgroup.com for more information. We are about ready for the second half of football. Again, Fairfield will get the ball to start the third quarter. Carmi got the ball to start the game, punted it away. And so these next couple of minutes, this first defensive drive for Carmi could have a big impact on how this game goes.
Yeah, it's just flat out, they've got to get a stop here. They cannot let them score. And if you're Fairfield, even if you get a long, methodical drive, say you don't get in the end zone, but you back the Bulldogs deep in their own territory, you've almost accomplished your purpose too. It's just the Bulldogs need to get the Mules off the field and get them off the field quickly.
So Fairfield will be going right to left in this third quarter. Carmi left to right. Mitchell Edwards and the kickoff unit out there to kick this one away. And again, those 2 touchdown drives by Fairfield, I believe they did punt twice. Am I correct? Or was it just one punt from Fairfield?
It was just one.
Just one punt. So you're going to ask a lot of the Bulldog defense really throughout the rest of the game. Edwards will boot this one away, and the third quarter is underway. Backing up to about the 16-yard line. And as Luke Sork across the far side, taken down across the 35. A pretty good return for Sork. And a good starting field position for Fairfield at their own 36-yard line. 1st and 10 Mules as we start the second half of action.
Yeah, Sork and Rogers are 2 real good athletes back there. Sork, the 5'11", 165-pound senior. He's kind of their speedster. Let's see what they do here. It looks like they're coming right back out in the wedge.
1st and 10 for the Mules. They lead 12-8. At their own 36-yard line, first play of the second half. Toss right side to Sork, looking for running room. Not much of that. Taken down just shy of the 40. Draxonod, Trayton Vickers in there on the tackle. About a 5-yard pickup, maybe 4 yards there for Sork.
And you'll take that if you're the Bulldogs.
Yep, absolutely.
You've still got them behind the chains. They give them 3 yards, so still behind the chains. And you can see the Mules are in no hurry.
Yeah.
The way they break the huddle.
And we talked about their best defense could be their offense in terms of keeping the ball away from Carmi. Same play, toss right side to Sork. He runs into his own blockers, and not much running room. About a 1 yard, maybe 2 yard pickup there for Sork. And here we go, quickly a 3rd down and 5 here for Fairfield.
Well, another big play by Drax Odd. That play was absolutely eating our lunch the first half. That power toss with about 15 people pulling, it seems like, in front of the tailback. But the Bulldogs have answered the bell there. So it's going to be about a 3rd and 4 and a critical 3rd and 4 because the Mules, they may gamble and go 4 downs here.
Ball at their own 42-yard line. 3rd down and 4. Rogers toss left side to Mason. He turns upfield and runs into a brick wall shy of the 45-yard line. No gain on the play. It's 4th down. Couldn't tell who made the tackle for Carmi.
Looked like big Gavin Payton, big number 50.
Gavin Payton with the tackle, and it's 4th down and 4. What will the Mules do?
I think they're going for it.
Now, again, Rogers is their punter. They don't necessarily have a punt team, and they might punt here. They're going to send the punt team out there. How about that stop by Carmi to start the 3rd quarter?
Tremendous. Exactly what they had to do. Now, keep in mind, Rogers is their punter.
Yep.
So you've got to be wary of a fake here.
We saw CZR try a couple of fake punts last week. What will Fairfield do here on 4th down and 3? Rogers, a quick kick. It's a short kick of that on the Fairfield sideline, out of bounds at around the Carmi 35-yard line. So the Bulldogs do exactly what they needed to do. They force a 3-and-out to start this 3rd quarter of action. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Great start to the 3rd quarter.
Exactly what they had to do. Now, offensively, no need to panic. Plenty of football to play, 1-score game. You don't have to get out of your comfort zone, which I always like to say, so to speak, what you do offensively right now. Just take your time, move the football.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 35-yard line. Handoff right side to King. King gets across the first line, hurls a man across the 45-yard line. Still on his feet across midfield at the 45, at the 40. He's still going all the way to the Fairfield 36-yard line. How about this start to the 3rd quarter? That's a Rush Appliance 1st down all the way to the Fairfield 36.
I describe that as a bulldozer that can dance. You saw power, you saw agility, you saw spinning, speed. What a beautiful run by Isaac King on that first play of the drive. Just what the Bulldogs need to get some energy back. Inside toss, ran over a guy, spun over a guy, hurdled a guy. You saw it all.
Back in the T formation, 1st and 10 from the Fairfield 35-yard line. Handoff, Odd, left side, and this time Fairfield doing a better job at closing in that running lane for Odd. Jackson's still got about 3 yards, maybe 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, you see how tight Fairfield has that pack. They have about 6 men down on the line of scrimmage, and at least, I'm counting about 8 guys in the box. Only 1 safety back. The other safety kind of hovering behind the linebacker. So really, you look at that right now, 2 safety, 9 guys, right at the line of scrimmage.
Wing back to the right side. Leg hands it off to King on the right side. King breaks 2 tackles, puts a shoulder down just shy of the Fairfield 25. He is about a yard shy of the 1st down. Definitely 4-down territory here, but it brings up 3rd down, a little bit less than a yard.
Good job again following his blockers. That was the power G play. Your backside guard pulls, your fullback leads. Tight end tries to turn out. Our ends, have had quite a challenge tonight because these defensive ends for Fairfield are big. I mean, Duckworth at 255 is a load.
3rd and 1 from the Fairfield 26. Under center is Leg, and Carmi moved.
And that's on us.
Bryson Moore looks like he just got off balance in his 3-point stance. Now that's tough because it goes from 3rd and 1 now to 3rd and 6.
And that's a backbreaker. And once again, something Carmi hasn't done all season. We've turned the ball over tonight. Penalties on crucial situations. When 3rd and 3 goes to 3rd and 8, it changes everything. But let's see if we can get it back. We're in 4-down territory without question.
They call it 3rd and 6 from the Fairfield 31. Under center is Leg. Handoff to King right up the middle. And he is going to be thrown backwards. It was Duckworth again. Luke Duckworth has been all over the place for Fairfield in the defensive line. And here we go. Brings up 4th down and about 7.
Well, he's just on the end, 6'4", 255. Such a big physical presence. You just don't see defensive ends of that size and stature. We haven't seen one to this point. And he is just, I mean, literally ragdolling people, what I call, with his strength off the edge up top.
4th down and 5 from the Fairfield 30. They fake the toss. Now a handoff left side to King. He's going to try to bounce it. Goes back up the middle. He's got the first down inside the Fairfield 25. Oh. Just barely got it. Move the chains. That's a Rush Appliance first down. How about that play call
that
on 4th and 5?
Gutsy. Same formation. You thought we were going to see maybe a pass there from Legg, but Isaac just patient enough to find that last crease. It looked to me like he was going to get stymied behind his left tackle. But, man, talk about crucial run right there.
1st and 10 from the Fairfield 24-yard line. 12-8, Mules lead. They fake the toss right now. Handoff left to King. Inside the 20. Dragging a defender with them inside the 10. 1st and goal, Carmi, White County.
And now the Bulldogs are feeling it. The mojo's coming back, so to speak. Healthy doses of number 1. Give him a crease, let him do his thing. Because you can see he is going to fight until he is on the ground. That's just what we call a battle of wills. And Isaac King's winning that battle.
Rush Appliance 1st and goal here for Carmi. Hand off to King. Off the right side, got tripped up, had a lane. Was taken down right at the 5-yard line, maybe the 6th, 2nd and goal.
Looks like the nose guard, Peyton Allen, 255-pounder, tripped him up there at the last second. Again, we talk about that size for the Mules up front. The Bulldogs are finally able to get some creases there for King. And what you have to do with those big power guys, you just got to sustain your blocks. Give your back just enough of a crease to get to the next level.
Ball is marked at the Fairfield 3-yard line. 1st down and goal, or 2nd and goal, I should say. Legg, they give us to King. He bounces off one defender. Did he get in there? They're going to say no. Down at the 1. And so here comes 3rd and goal. When King got it, he got bumped initially.
Yeah.
Thought he might have rolled into the end zone, but it's 3rd and goal from the 1.
The defender actually helped him, tackling him from behind, kind of pushed him forward a yard. Again, number 60, Peyton Allen in there for the Mules. But I noticed Fairfield was stacking the left side of the Bulldog line. I think they were expecting Odd to come off the left side on that crossbuck. See if we get a sneak here maybe.
3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Legg under center, quarterback keeper, touchdown, Carmi, White County.
And we talked about it at halftime. We said what the Bulldogs had to do. They had to get Fairfield off the field. 3 plays, they got them off the field. Then we said they couldn't panic, couldn't get out of their rhythm, got the ball. Healthy doses of Isaac King making monster play on a 4th and 5, keeping the drive alive. Cap it off with the sneak by Warren Legg. Incredible response by this Bulldog football team.
The Bulldogs take it about 65 yards, cap it off by a 1-yard sneak by Warren Legg. And the Bulldogs will go for 2 here. They give it off to King. He's going to try to get the outside corner. Not sure if he's going to get there, and he won't. Fairfield doing a good job in pursuit, and it puts the score at Carmi 14, Fairfield 12. With 5:17 to go in the 3rd quarter, we'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
You heard it right.
Citizens National Bank of Albion is making changes for the better.
Even better, that is.
Even better bank locations.
For even better customer service.
Even better leadership.
For even better local decision making.
And even better products and services.
That's why Citizens National Bank of Albion is your 5-star and most trusted financial partners in Edwards, Wayne, White, Richland, and Lawrence counties.
Citizens National Bank of Albion, know even better banking.
Member FDIC, equal housing.
So the Bulldogs march down the field after a Fairfield 3-and-out. They cap it off with a 1-yard run by Warren Legg, a quarterback sneak, and the Bulldogs find themselves back in front 14-12 with 5:17 to play in the 3rd quarter. Cole Carter and Chris Myers, Luke Sork on the kickoff return from the Fairfield 20-yard line, and he takes it up across the 30, shy of the 35. Tyler Gomat, the first Bulldog there on the tackle, 1st and 10 Mules.
Did I say last week that I thought this was going to be a heck of a football game? And if you're a football fan, to get out here and watch this thing, because it's going to be a good game.
Well, I think people listen to you.
I hope so. I'm very, very, very rarely right. Not saying, but it's been a good football game.
Well, you're right.
If you're a football fan, you got to love this.
And your terrible 10 pick-ems on Saturday mornings, you seem to be right there. But
not as good this way. I looked ahead.
we both did bad.
Yeah, I don't want to look at tomorrow's results. But anyway. I digress.
We will have the Saturday morning sports show on 97.3 tomorrow at 9 a.m. 1st and 10 for the Mules. Hand off to Sork off the right side, and Sork will carry it up to the Fairfield 35. About a 2-yard pickup, maybe 3. Second down coming up. We're at the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. 14-12, Bulldogs in front.
Kind of almost a double handoff look. Fake the fullback. Snyder up the middle, and then Sork coming around there. Looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss for a second, but he managed to slip out of that and make something positive out of it.
So I just saw Carmi change things up a little bit, sending in Andrew Dodson defensively and bringing out Chase Pringle. So a bit of a lighter lineup here as Fairfield now goes in the shotgun with 2 receivers out wide to the left. Handoff to Sork up the middle and taken down to the backfield.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job reading that. That looked like that was Isaac King getting in there along with Bryson Moore. Bryson Moore has made some huge plays from that defensive tackle. Well, you need your seniors to step up in moments like this, and Bryson Moore, big 79, has done that tonight at critical times. So again, Fairfield getting out of that double wing wedge set for that play. The Bulldogs responded, and now they're going to probably have to put the ball in the air here a little bit.
3rd down and 9 for the Mules from their own 34-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Rogers will roll out to his left. They run the option. They toss it to Sork. He's got the angle, and he is going to be short of a first down. A great job in pursuit by Caleb Sievers. Landon Driscoll also there. It's going to be 4th down for the Mules.
Beautiful job of keeping contained by Driscoll and Sievers. Fairfield tried to hit the edge with that speed option. The first thing you got to do, your end and your corner have to have the angle on the quarterback. Safety rotated over for the pitch. Beautiful stop right there. Just what we needed again.
And Fairfield will punt the football. So back-to-back 3-and-outs to start this second drive, or start the second half for the Bulldog defense.
2 huge responses. Now let's see if the Bulldog offense can do what they just did this last drive. Again, be wary of Rogers for a fake.
It's just 4th and 4. Rogers will kick it away. This is an even shorter punt than last time, and it will take a bounce, and Fairfield will down it at the Bulldog 43. So great field position here for Carmi on the short punt. And again, Chris, here's your chance to get more momentum. You got a 2-point lead, a chance to extend this game to a 2-score lead here with 3:37 to go in the third quarter.
And I think it's critical that the Bulldogs do that. 3:37 left in fourth. You've got the lead. Now you can take a little bit of a breath, not much. I say that, meaning with your offensive play calling. Now the Bulldogs with the lead. Now they can work the play clock, and they can take their time, keep the ball out of the Mules' hands.
And a quick officials timeout. Bobby Blondie is making his way to the near sideline. See what's going on here.
I don't know if it's about field position or...
We've had our fair share of stoppages tonight, to say the least.
Yeah. Any type of delay that can happen, it's happened.
So whenever we resume play, it will be 1st and 10 for Carmi from the 43. With 3:37 to go in the third quarter, 14-12. Bulldogs scored on a 1-yard run by Warren Legg on their first drive of this third quarter to take the lead. Trying to add to it here.
Coming out in that bunch set again.
Legg gives it off to King, right up the middle. King will take it across midfield, across the 45-20, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. Touchdown, Carmi White County. 57 yards, Isaac King.
There's your one-play drive. Love seeing that. Just when you need it. Number 1 answers the bell. That bunch set formation has been a new look for the Bulldogs tonight, coming out with the trip set just to the right, close to the line of scrimmage, tight to the tackle. Straight dive up the middle. Isaac King, good job by the offensive line, getting their blocks sealed. Isaac King does the rest. And Cole, I think the Bulldogs are doing what they need to do.
Exactly. You can tell it's a completely different team here in this third quarter.
You can tell momentum. The good old what we talk about. Momentum is huge in football. That pendulum has swung back to the Bulldogs. Still a lot of football left to play.
And a big 2-point conversion here.
See if we can get this to a 10-point game.
Under center his leg. He turns, gives it off to Odd. Left side, he will walk into the end zone. And Carmi, White County, with 2 touchdowns on 2 drives in this third quarter to take a 10-point lead, 22-12 over the Fairfield Mules. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
When you're looking for an accountant, what comes to mind?
Trustworthiness, accuracy, up-to-date knowledge of tax laws, truthiness.
Wait, truthiness? That's not even a real word.
Well, you know what I mean. Honesty, trust, accuracy, and knowledge. They're all really important.
When it comes to your accounting, you need a professional you can trust. You need Nancy J. Winter CPA. Visit NancyJWinterCPA.com to learn more or call 382-2364 and visit on Cherry Street.
3:28 to play in the third quarter. A 1-play drive is all Carmi needs. Isaac King goes 57 yards. They get the 2-point conversion, and the Bulldogs lead it over Fairfield 22-12. Here's the kickoff from the 15-yard line, running across the far side, and being slogged down 2 times over is Draxon.
I can't describe. Draxon just tackled him twice. He comes downfield like a bullet, wraps down around his waist. He flung off the carrier, got right back up, and latched onto him again and spun him down. That was incredible.
Never seen a guy been tackled twice in one play.
I have not. That is the first time. He made 2 tackles on the same player. Crazy.
And all the momentum in the world has shifted over to the Carmi sideline. The 2 touchdowns, the 2 3-and-outs, but now if you're Fairfield, it feels like a must-score drive with 3:20 left to go in this third quarter. Carmi leading 22-12.
And if you're Carmi, this is when you really got to put the clamps down here.
Fairfield goes spread. Rogers by himself in the shotgun. A jet sweep to Mason. Oh. He falls. The ball comes out, and Carmi White County recovers. They tried the jet sweep. Mason never got a clean handoff. And the Bulldogs were right there. Fairfield coughed one up earlier in the night. Carmi couldn't get it. That time the Bulldogs fall on it in great field position at the Fairfield 20. And a timeout taken by Justin Townsend. It is all Carmi here in the third quarter.
And I couldn't tell who fell on the ball and recovered that for us, but wow. We talk about it. When you get teams out of their comfort zone, Fairfield had been running that double wing wedge so effectively. Now they fall behind by 10. Guess what? They've got to get out of that. Now they've got to mix it up. When you run the shotgun, I've said this many times this year, the little things have to click. The snap has to be clean. It's tough when a guy is coming in motion, when he's on a dead sprint, to hand him the ball. The timing has to be exact. The timing was off. Rogers' handoff wasn't clean. Fumble, Bulldogs recover, and a real chance for the Bulldogs to kind of take this game back and get it under control.
That first quarter was as bad as it could have went for Carmi. And a lot of things. They trailed 6-0. This third quarter has gone about as good as it could go for Carmi. Now 3 stops, a takeaway. They've already scored twice, a chance to add another.
It's just been the old adage, a tale of 2 halves. Whatever speech Coach Simon gave at halftime, whatever adjustments were made,
it worked.
It has been on the money.
But still, lots of football again. This is a major, this is the big drive.
Still, you're right, still a 10-point game.
Power I formation. They give it off to King right up the middle, and King will get about 5 yards up to the Fairfield 15. It'll be 2nd and 5. 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. 22-12, Bulldogs lead.
And now the play clock is definitely on the side of the Bulldogs. The Mules actually are down to 2 timeouts, so they have to be careful in how many they use. Obviously, they're not going to use any of the third quarter. But if the Bulldogs can punch this one in, I think you can, not quite safely, but you can be pretty confident where you're at if you're Carmi.
Under center his leg. They give it off to on the right side. He's got room inside the 10, inside the 5. That's a rush appliance first down, and it's 1st and goal, Carmi White County.
Now we're seeing classic Bulldog football. The line has regained their confidence. They're staying with their blocks. Odd coming in on that looks like an end around. It's just kind of almost like a counter. But they're just starting now to impose their will on the Mules, whereas in the first half, there was nothing doing anywhere.
1st and goal from the 4-yard line. They give us to Odd. Left side, down to the goal line. No signal. They're going to say he's down at the 1.
Oh, I thought he was in, but
he got the push initially. Thought he might have tripped his way into the end zone, but they say he's down just shy of the goal line.
About an inch, looks like.
It'll be 2nd and goal from, you're right, just about the inch line. I would say if you're Carmi, just quarterback sneak again. It worked earlier.
That's what I would expect here. Get a worn leg sneak and punch this thing in.
2nd and goal from the 1. Under center his leg. He'll sneak it in. Touchdown, Carmi White County. Warren Legg, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, and the Bulldogs take advantage of the Fairfield fumble.
We've said it over and over. Turnovers in games like this can determine a football game. In the first half, Carmi had one of their first turnovers of the season. The Mules capitalized. Fairfield was on their heels, and the worst thing that could have happened for them is to turn the ball over, and they did just that. And the Bulldogs, to their credit, did not waste that opportunity. Good teams take advantage of turnovers. They don't waste them. And the Bulldogs, in 3 plays, converted that fumble into a score.
Carmi has scored now 3 times in this 3rd quarter. 2 sneaks by Legg and that long run by Isaac King. They'll go for 2, leading 28-12. This would make it a 3-score game. They give us to Odd off the right side. He is into the end zone untouched. 30-12. The Bulldogs lead with 1:23 to play in the 3rd quarter. How about this 3rd quarter for the Bulldogs? We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
Your partner in auto repair. That's Cherry Street Automotive in Carmi. You get service, expertise, and a promise you'll drive away satisfied. Complete engine and body repair, 24-hour-a-day wrecker and towing service, tires from sales and service, and repair including muffler service, brakes, shocks, suspension, and more. When quality counts, count on Cherry Street Automotive in Carmi. Your partner in auto repair. Call 382-7165 today.
We've got 1:23 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Carmi has scored their 3rd touchdown here of the 3rd quarter. A quarterback sneak by Warren Legg. The 2-point conversion run by Draxon Ott. It's 30-12 as Mitchell Edwards will kick this one away. And now the pressure has really turned up on Fairfield.
Still a 3-score game. Oh, another.
The Mules fumble the kickoff, but they pick it back up, and running across the far sideline is number 18. Now that was Easton. Man, him and Sort collided, and a heads-up play by Easton to pick it up and get something out of it. Well, near disaster again.
Oh, man. That was definitely another near disaster for the Mules. But, again, 3 unanswered scores in this 3rd quarter for the Bulldogs. We said at halftime, how are they going to respond? Their backs are against the wall. Well, you see the resolve of this football team. I think they like having their backs against the wall, to be honest with you.
Mix things up every once in a while.
So with 1:15 left in the 3rd quarter, this is the Bulldogs' chance here to put, in all honesty, they get a stop here, get the ball back. I think they can start putting the nails in the coffin.
Still lots of time left. Just 1:15 to go in this 3rd quarter.
Coach Simons,
there's a lot of confusion on the line of scrimmage. Play clock wasn't running, but the Mules run the option off the left side, and Rogers nowhere to go. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if somebody was trying to call a timeout. The play clock was not running.
That, and I think Coach Simon, I saw him yelling down at his defense coordinator, Coach Wolf, saying something was out of alignment there. I think maybe our corners weren't where we're supposed to be. Fairfield came out in that 2 receivers set to the field side, and I don't think we were adjusted properly.
Either way, only about a half-yard pickup for Rogers up to the 27. And we are under a minute left to go in this third quarter, 40 seconds to be exact. 30-12, Carmi leads.
And I think Fairfield may just kind of take their time, get this thing to the fourth quarter if they can.
Two receivers now wide to the right for Rogers in the shotgun. He's going to pass here as he rolls out to his right, throws one. It's going to be caught, and that's going to be a first down across the 40-yard line. That was Scotty Cuff with the catch. And that will move the chains for Fairfield and stop the clock with 23 seconds left to play in the third.
Our safeties were playing really deep on that play. The slot receiver to the inside ran an out route. The deep receiver took our safety deep and kind of opened that area there right there. But again, Rogers showing his athleticism, getting out on the perimeter. We saw that last week against Christopher. Same thing this week. Good athletic quarterback getting outside.
First and 10 from the 40 for Fairfield. Handoff to Sork off the right side, and he'll be tripped up just across the 40. That was Andrew Dotson there on the tackle. Gavin Payton, I believe, also in there. Is Nelson Ryder also in there. About a 1-yard pickup, 2nd and 9 coming up. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. In a fantastic third quarter of that, the Bulldogs score 3 unanswered touchdowns, and they go into the final quarter leading 30-12. We'll take a 1-minute break right here on 97.3 WRUL and 104.9 WFIW.
Farrell Hospital is committed to providing quality health care to our community, and we're always striving to deliver more care close to home. We now offer more services: orthopedic care, cancer care, and ear, nose, and throat care. We've added more locations, Harrisburg Family Medicine, and a new larger Carmi Family Medicine clinic. We offer more convenient options like online scheduling for appointments, lab draw sites at clinics, and early walk-in appointments. We're Farrell Hospital, here for you.
Taylor Eye Care on Falcon Avenue in Carmi has over 500 eyeglass frames to choose from in stock. Also, a large selection of designer sunglass, non-prescription or prescription. Taylor Eye Care treats every patient like a member of their family, going above and beyond the expected for a truly memorable eye care experience. Call Taylor Eye Care at 618-382-4683 for your next eye exam. That's 618-382-4683. Taylor Eye Care, excellence in eye care.
It is Bulldogs 30 and Fairfield 12 as we start the final stanza. It'll be first down and 10, or correction, second and about 7 for the Mules from their own 41-yard line. Cole Carter and Chris Myers. A dominant third quarter for the Bulldogs. Rogers back to pass here on second down. Steps up, throws over the middle. It's going to be caught. That is Sork who makes the catch and takes it inside the Carmi 35-yard line. Really the first long pass play for Fairfield tonight. Moves the chains.
The Mules aren't going away by any means. You're not going to find a Fairfield Mule, Justin Townsend coach team that's just going to quit. And a nice job getting the single set receiver down the middle of the field. He did have that same route from the last play. He had his inside slot receiver wide open to the outside, but that was a good completion over the middle.
First and 10 for the Mules now from the Carmi 34-yard line. And there's now some confusion on the Fairfield side. That's going to be some sort of penalty. As Roger Hobbs would say, that something didn't look right.
Well, you saw Coach Justin Townsend. Number one, he was on the field when they snapped the ball.
Did they have 12 guys? Somebody, that was.
I think they had the wrong formation. Yeah. He was telling them where they needed to line up, and there was confusion, and you could see he was going ballistic over there. So not a good sign.
So you can choose what you want, whether it's a false start, illegal motion, either or. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. You put the football at the Carmi 39-yard line. And now the officials will discuss it. Why not one more pause in the action?
Well, it wouldn't be, too many guys in the huddle because they're basically not huddling.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's got to be a illegal motion or a legal shift, something like that. That or a false start. There was an O-lineman that moved well before the snap. Bobby Blondie says run the clock and let's keep this train rolling. We're at 11:25 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Bulldogs scored 3 times in the third. They lead 30-12. So first and 15 now for the Mules from the Bulldog 39-yard line. Fairfield trying to get back into it. It is a 3-possession game, an 18-point game. And the shotgun, they hand it off. This is Snyder off the right side. Latrell Snyder, and he's does not have much running room as Andrew Dotson tackles him out of bounds. Trayton Vickers also there. Got back to the regular line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 coming up.
Good contain there by Dotson, not letting him get around the edge there. Sometimes you'll see that to the boundary. You know, the receivers are spread out wide to the field side, try to hit that tailback sweep to the boundary, and the Bulldogs didn't get sucked inside, didn't bite on any fake there. Again, Fairfield's not going away, and Carmi still needs to keep them out of the end zone here because they could make it interesting if they put this one in the end zone.
30-12 your score, 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Back to passes, Rogers throws on the middle, intercepted by Tyler Gomet at the 15-yard line. He threw it right to him, and the Bulldogs take the ball away for the second time in the second half. 1st and 10, Carmi White County.
And you can credit Andrew Dotson for that throw. Dotson came off the edge unblocked. He was about to lay the smack on Rogers, forced him to throw that ball early. And when you force an early throw and the quarterback's not set, you're going to have errant passes. Threw it right into the hands of Tyler Gomet.
I'm not sure if Tyler was expecting that.
No, he's like, what's this?
He was kind of, look what I found.
Yeah.
A little caught off guard. So 1st and 10 now for Carmi from their own 13-yard line. Here's where you want to start killing some clock. Give it off to King. Huge hole left side across the 20. And King puts a shoulder down and drags Meals with him across the 35. You could have drove an F-150 through that hole. That's a Rush Appliance first down.
I could have got 10 yards on that play. That tells you how big that hole was.
Now, Chris, calm down.
Maybe, all right, 5 yards. There we go.
You and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Well, again, just fantastic blocking on that left side. It was just a classic 23 crossbuck. Tight end on the left side. I believe that was Tyler Gomet did a great job turning out the end. You know, we talked about that big physical end over there. 89, Luke Duckworth. Gomet did a great job on him.
So 1st and 10 from the 34, under 10.5 to play. They go to Odd up the left side. Odd tries to change directions up the middle, gets it across the 40, and taken down at the Carmi 42. About a 7-yard pickup there for Odd on first down.
And now you can see the wheels just slowly grinding.
And think about, Fairfield, where they were at halftime. They were thrilled to be up by 4 at the break. They played a great first half, but you knew this Carmi team was not going to be down and out for long.
No, it was the wake-up call the Bulldogs needed, in all honesty. And how would they respond? Well, they showed us how they were going to respond.
2nd down and 4. Leg gives it off to King off the right side. 1st down and more across midfield. King almost broke that one again, but he takes it into Fairfield territory to the Mule 48-yard line. That's enough for a Rush Appliance first down.
And as I said just a minute ago, the grind is starting. It's just that slow concrete wheel that grinds the grain in the olden times. The Bulldogs are starting to turn that wheel and slowly grind down this Mules defense. With 9:20 left in the game, up 30-12, they're just going to pound the football between the tackles.
Back to the T formation. 10 from the Fairfield 49. They toss it left side to Odd. Blockers in front. Odd across the 40-yard line. Still going inside the 30. And taken down inside the 25 to the Fairfield 22. Move the chains again. Carmi is driving. That's a Rush Appliance first down.
Well, that's their classic play they call the quick pitch. All it is, the fullback and the right tailback go to the right. The left tailback gets the pitch. The play side tackle pulls, comes around to meet the corner, and gets a seal block. You let your back do the rest. And I tell you, Drax Odd has come through in some crucial situations tonight.
Under 9 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Carmi leading 30-12. 1st and 10 from the Fairfield 20. Under center is Leg, hand off to King, up the middle. King looking for room, bouncing off defenders, trying to stiff form one last guy, and he can't stay on his feet inside the 15, or inside the 10 actually, down to around the 7. That's a Rush Appliance first down. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs once again.
The classic power eye ISO. Is that not fun to watch? I mean, it just he is not going to go down. He's just not.
He was one stiff arm away from taking that to the end zone.
Literally have to take his last breath to get him to go down. He was like most running backs are content with that, getting the first down and just calling it a day. He's like, no, I want to score.
You said last week, Chris, you got a call, whether it's the Marines or the Navy SEALs, whoever it is, to bring Isaac King down. That's still the case.
You call in the special ops.
First and goal from the 6. Odd, up the gut, into the end zone. Touchdown, Carmi, White County.
And that will probably do it. We asked the question again at halftime. How's this Bulldog team going to respond? With 28 unanswered points, you've got your answer.
Absolutely. Yeah, just a wacky first half that saw Fairfield take a 4-point lead into intermission. And it's been all Bulldogs ever since. They've scored 28 unanswered and trying to make it 30 unanswered here with a 2-point play. The give is to King. He'll try to bounce it, and he's in for 2. And so with 8:02 to play in this one, Carmi has scored 30 unanswered here in the second half, and they lead Fairfield here on homecoming 38-12. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
Roark Transport in Carmi has earned a reputation of dependable hauling that many in this area have depended on. Roark Transport now also offers rock, dirt, and lime hauling. From parking lots, driveways, and washouts, Roark Transport can handle all your rock and dirt hauling needs. Farmers can also depend on Roark Transport to deliver their lime when and where they need it. For your next driveway or parking lot job, remember Roark Transport for fast, dependable service. Call Roark Transport today at 265-366.
8:02 to play here in the fourth quarter. Mitchell Edwards will kick this one away. He'll be fielded from the 15-yard line, running on the near sideline as Easton, and he'll be taken down at the 22. Noah Pollard there on the tackle.
The termite, Noah Pollard, I call him, because he bores through anything. Made his way down the field and made a fantastic hit on that play.
Under 8 minutes to play in this one. This is definitely a must-score quickly drive for Fairfield. Carmi has scored 30 unanswered points. So if you turned off your radio, turned off your TV at halftime, you've missed a lot. Carmi has scored 4 times to lead it now 38-12. But, Chris, there's never not enough time. You always got to stay on your toes. Fairfield obviously one score away from getting back in this game.
Yeah, and they're not going to go away. They know that. If they can get a quick strike here, it's a 38-20. You know, it's not over yet. But I can assure you, Justin Townsend, fantastic football coach, been at the helm of Fairfield for 20 years now, 21 seasons actually, and his team won't quit. I can assure you of that.
So 7:57 to play, 38-12, Carmi in front. Fairfield goes back to the shotgun with 2 receivers out wide to the right. Rogers, they run the option left side, and he'll be drugged down not too far past the line of scrimmage. Looks like Gavin Payton, Nelson Ryder, and Isaac King, and they're on the tackle.
Since Rogers broke that long run in the first half, they've done a really good job containing him.
Yep.
That'll kind of wake you up to the fact that a quarterback can run when he gets a 66-yarder on you. That wakes your defense up a little bit. I tell you, if he could have got the ball pitched that time, there was a lot of daylight out there to the left side, but credit the Bulldog defense for not giving him time to pitch the ball. And that's what you have to do on an option. You got to force that. When you're the point man, you got to come right after the quarterback, force him to pitch it quickly.
7:10 to play here in the fourth quarter, and Fairfield will call their second timeout. They've just had all sorts of confusion at the line of scrimmage tonight. It's a second time Townsend's had a burden of timeout for that same reason. So we'll step aside as well. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Bulldog football.
Wabash General Hospital. People you know, helping people you love. From treating all aspects of heart health, diagnosis, treatment, and management of your heart condition to an orthopedic team ready to restore your quality of life by improving your mobility, flexibility, endurance, and strength. Call Wabash General Hospital today. 618-262-8621. Wabash General Hospital. Committed to combining passion and knowledge to heal. Visit wabashgeneral.com for more information.
7:09 to go in this one. Carmi-White County leading Fairfield 38-12. Cole Carter and Chris Myers here at Harrington Jeffrey Sports Complex. Homecoming night for the Bulldogs. They're trying to become playoff eligible for the second straight season. Toss to the right side to, this is Sork, and he just gets pushed back. Had some push initially, but Bryson Moore led the way. Maybe a yard pickup there on forward progress. Third down and long coming up here for Fairfield.
Bryson Moore and big 55, the 310-pound sophomore, Eli Bryan in there too. We talked about it in the first half. Quite honestly, we were getting shoved around both sides of the ball. And sometimes a quick slap in the face is what it takes to wake you up. And at halftime, this Bulldog team has definitely woken up.
6.5 to play. Now under center is Rogers. They go double handoff on the left side to Mason. And Caleb Siebers read that one. He's taken down near the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th and long. And if you're Fairfield, well, never mind. They're going to send on the punt team. And that's pretty much them just waving the white flag.
Yeah. You wondered if they'd go ahead and go for it, but I think they're figuring this deep in their territory, let's go ahead and punt it. Let's try to do our best to stop the bleeding, because you turn it over to Carmi on the 10-15. It's just a matter of a couple plays.
6 minutes to go. Bulldogs lead 38-12. Rogers will punt it. A short one on the near sideline. It will take a Fairfield bounce and roll out of bounds at the Carmi 46-yard line. And two penalties. We've got some pushing and shoving going on between Trayton Vickers and Luke Sork near the 35, and two flags come in.
If they call that on both teams, they'll offset.
Yeah.
It's kind of the old thing. The ref always sees the second guy.
It's obviously something you never want, but you got to understand if you're Fairfield, you're pretty frustrated with the way things have gone in the second half.
It looks like one of Fairfield's coaches actually out in the middle of the field.
You'd be right about that, Chris. It's not sure what's going on there. Officials are still just. I think it's just getting the ball. That's what.
Okay,
doing.
All right. Wasn't sure what was going on. Yeah, he's waiting on the football. I was like,
so waiting for the call from Bobby Blondie. See what he says. Still waiting. They're gonna say fouls on both teams, I assume, is the call.
Usually when that happens, you go through all that for nothing, more or less.
They'll say fouls on both teams, so the penalties will offset, and we'll act like it never happened. So 1st and 10 for Carmi.
But what you do, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What you do, though, is when you're a coach, you tell the player involved, hey, get it together, knock it off, let's play clean football. We don't need to start any of that.
So 1st and 10 for Carmi from their own 46-yard line. In the wingback formation, Odd is that wingback, and Odd does get the carry off the left side across midfield. Goes Draxon Odd, and taken down across the Fairfield 45, inside the 45. He's about a yard shy of a first down as we approach the 5.5 mark here in the fourth quarter.
Now if you're Carmi, you just hang on to this ball. Score if you want, but you don't even have to. You just milk the play clock down to 5 seconds each snap and just get a couple first downs and put this thing to bed. Notice still getting a little chippy down there.
But hey, it is rivalry week.
It is.
Of course.
Chase Pringle and Luke Duckworth.
They've been going at it all night.
Yeah, not going to be exchanging Christmas cards, I don't think so. But hey, that's part of football.
Yeah, absolutely. 2nd down and 2 for Carmi. Maybe 2nd and 1 from the Fairfield 45. Into the power I formation. Leg the play clock's not running. He's waiting for the backside official to let him know when it's under 5. And he hands it off to King up the middle. King has some running room across the 40-yard line, and he's going to turn his way inside the 40 to the 35. That's going to be enough for a Rush Appliance first down for Carmi.
And that first down should run this play clock, or not the play clock. If the Bulldogs just keep running it here, 4-down territory, they should burn at least a minimum 2.5 minutes off the clock.
You should almost be able to end the game with this drive.
Yeah, this should do it.
And you can run the game clock down just about under 4 minutes before this snap.
Yeah, play clock's kind of froze here, so we're just kind of having to time it.
So 1st and 10 for Carmi from the Fairfield 35-yard line. Bulldogs leading 38-12. They go back in the T formation. Legg will wait for the backside official to cue the play clock. He does. And Legg will give it off left side to Odd, looking for running room, and he runs right into Duckworth, and he'll sling him down. A penalty flag flies in near the second level of the defense. We'll see what that flag is.
Talk about Duckworth and Pringle going at it. Duckworth, was a great play by him, number one, but that tackle was almost an anger, frustration tackle. Got a little rough with Odd there, but
penalty is a hold against Carmi, so that will back things up 10 yards from the spot of the hole. I assumed it was maybe somebody going to the second level trying to get a linebacker.
Flag came over on the right side of the line of scrimmage, so 1st and 20. The Bulldogs again don't have to put it in the air here. They're just going to run this thing out.
So puts the football back at the Fairfield 45. So now 1st and 20 from the 45, and clock continues to run, though. That's one positive thing about that penalty. So 3:40 left to go in this one. Again, Carmi leading 38-12. It was a 12-8 game at halftime. Bulldogs have scored 30 unanswered points.
A classic tale of two halves.
Under center is Legg. They send Gomat out wide to the right side. They move out of motion. They toss it right side to on. He's got Dotson and King in front of him blocking. He tries to bounce it, and a penalty flag flies in again as Odd is taken down at the 40. Well, this official crew has kept the flags in the pocket until there's about 3.5 to go in this one.
Now, all of a sudden, when the game's pretty well decided, the flags are coming out. So another hold, I think, looks like. They're talking it over with the Mules, and they may go ahead and decline this one, just take the down.
Wasn't much of a gain of anything there for Drax.
Yeah,
they'll accept it.
They're going to go and take it.
Puts the ball all the way back now into Carmi territory. And again, you're not trying. I think the last thing Carmi's worried about here is getting a first down. Just take care of the ball, keep this clock running, because these holding penalties are keeping the clock running. I mean, if anything, they might have even helped Carmi, because now you can continue to try to get this first down, and the clock will continue to run. We're under 3 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ironically, that is the case. You never want to see penalties, but
because you got 4 downs.
Yeah, in this case, it's actually been to the advantage.
1st and 27 from the Carmi 48-yard line. Handoff to King off the right side. He'll be tripped up across midfield. Get this football back into Fairfield territory. Gain of about 2.
And you'll see them run 2:33. That play clock will go down about 2:08 when we snap it.
Like I said, Carmi should be able to end this game on this drive. If anything, give Fairfield very little time to do anything. So I think you could say this game is
over.
Yep.
And if you're listening in the first half, I don't know if any one of us were expecting this result in the second half.
You know, maybe earlier today before this game started, but with the way things started, with the way things were at the end of the first quarter, end of the second quarter, you're thinking, okay, Fairfield's got something here, and a completely different maroon and white team came out here in the second half. Timeout taken by Kurt. Simon will take one as well. Back in 30 seconds.
The alarm sounds, coffee brews, and the porch light guides your steps toward another busy day. Just like you, Invenergy Solar is up with the sun. Invenergy's Boomtown Solar project will create up to 400 construction jobs and create enough electricity to power 40,000 American homes. Invenergy expects to invest $60 million over the project's lifetime, helping illuminate the future of all in White County. Private investment developed on private property with public benefits. Invenergy.
Well, it's the 2-minute warning here at Carmi. The Bulldogs, thanks to a stellar third quarter and early fourth quarter, and now trying to run out this game clock, they lead at 38-12 over the Fairfield Mules. Here in about 2 minutes, it's going to be the first win for Carmi over Fairfield since 2012.
And it just has to be a fantastic feeling, not only for these players, but also for Coach Simon. 10 years since his last win against Fairfield. But again, credit the Mules program for that. People talk about dominant runs. I mean, they have just been on an incredible. Great athletes, great coaching, credit to their program.
Power I here on 2nd down and 29. The give off is to King on the left side. King just trying to find some running room, and there's not much there. He'll be taken down in a dog pile at about the 43-yard line. And that will take this game clock, and the next snap will be under 90 seconds. It'll be 3rd down and about 20 here for Carmi.
And that will effectively end it, even if
they
all
you have to do is run this play.
Yeah. And even if they don't get it, if Fairfield does get the ball, it's over. So, wow, what a great way.
What a great win for Carmi.
Great way to end the 10-year losing streak to the Mules. Homecoming, fantastic crowd. Just the community really pumped this game up this week. Great week of events for the kids, and just a great atmosphere tonight.
Carmi will call another timeout. So stops the clock with 1:05, so you're going to have to essentially run 2 plays here to get this one officially over. But with this one pretty much being in the books, we do a final score thanks to Haley over to my right. Johnson City stays unbeaten. They take down Flora 43-15. So Flora loses their second straight game after starting off 3-0, and Johnson City now 5-0. They're playoff eligible, and this win is going to make Carmi playoff eligible for the second consecutive year, and it will be the 17th time Kurt Simon has led the Bulldogs to the state playoffs. And most importantly, Chris, I think we can go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. This win tonight for Carmi is win number 150 for head coach Kurt Simon here for the Bulldogs. 150 wins for Kurt Simon.
And it's just a testament to him, what he's done for this football program since he came here in '97. A morebound program, one winning season in 20-plus years, and he's made us a consistent winner.
Give off to Odd, left side, and Odd will keep those feet turning. And he is taken down just across the 35-yard line, and Drax a little slow to get up. Got tackled a little bit awkwardly, but he'll walk off the field. And we have a timeout taken by Fairfield.
And get him out of the game. Yeah, they did. Fairfield's going to fight to the end here, so they want to get one more possession. And you don't want to see that.
Jackson limping over to the sideline, and that was definitely the biggest concern in my mind was you got this game under control. You're up by, 26 points, and you've still got your 3 guys in there. As Draxton's getting looked at by Bennett Richter, the athletic trainer.
And that's the thing, too. That's something we don't want to talk about. We haven't had to. We've been healthy. We've basically, you look back to last year, the unfortunate injury to Luke Simon last year, who had been a big part of our offense. But we've avoided the injury bug for the most part, and that's ask Fairfield what that's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had a huge blow losing their best running back. So
I think it might have been more of an ankle than a knee, so that's a little bit more encouraging. And he's walking it off. I think he's going to be all right.
Yeah, anything with the knee is they got a piece of that one.
Fairfield blocks the punt, and it's picked up. Oh my goodness, Lauren Legg laying the hammer. Wow, fans at home watching you. You saw that one.
And remember I told you last year when Warren Legg played defense before he hurt his knee? That's why he played defense. Before his knee injury, that was typical Warren Legg tackling. That's why the devastating ACL injury is the only reason he's not on the defensive side of the ball. But he had a flashback right there.
That was it was Sork who picked up the block punt, and my goodness, number 10 just shot out of a cannon.
That was textbook.
And that's a nice little exclamation point on this win for Carmi. So the Bulldogs are going to move to 5-0. It's the first time I know I'm officially right on this one. I was wrong last week, but for the first time since 2011, which was also the last time Carmi went 9-0, they're going to be 5-0. Fairfield drops back under 500. They'll be at 2-3.
First time they've probably been under 500 in 10 years.
It's been a while. 1st and 10 for the Mules. They give it off to Snyder off the right side, and Snyder will carry it across the 40. And I'm not sure if we'll see one more snap or not.
Maybe one more. But either way, you have got to tip your hat to this Bulldog football team. What incredible grit they showed. I mean, down 12-8 at halftime, nothing was going right. Turning the ball over, getting stymied on each drive, giving up big plays, chunks of yards. Just not the Bulldog team we were used to.
And the pass down the middle of the field is going to be tipped and incomplete. So Fairfield trying to sneak one in here in the final 20 seconds.
Well, number 22, Regan Taylor, had that in his hands. It came out of his hands. Tyler Gomat had it in his hands, bounced off him, and then an offensive lineman for the Mules came downfield and tried to catch it on the second deflection, but a little ping pong there. But yeah, the Mules, they're going to go down swinging here.
So final play of the game, 11 seconds left to play. They'll give it off to Snyder off the right side, and Snyder will be taken down inbounds, and that will do it.
Yes, sir.
Final score, Carmi-White County 38, Fairfield 12, and they get Kurt Simon with the Gatorade bath. And ladies and gentlemen, over the past 26 seasons, you have witnessed one of the greatest coaches in high school football history. Kurt Simon, 150 wins for Carmi-White County. And he does it against the team that he got his 100th win against back in 2012. And the Bulldogs will go to the playoffs for the 17th time under Simon with a big 38-12 win over the Fairfield Mules.
And you just love seeing it. Number one, getting off the 10-year snide, as I talked about last week against the Mules. But the way the Bulldogs did it tonight, that first half was scary. But that second half, the Bulldogs showed the football team they really are. When they come together, when they're focused and they play complete football on both sides, you're seeing what that team's capable of. And Kurt Simon, since he arrived in 1997, I can just tell you, I've coached with the man. I've known him a lot of years. The man knows X's and O's. He knows football. The strength of Kurt Simon has always been he plays to the strengths of his team. When he's got a kid back there that can wing the ball and they got receivers, he'll get and spread and throw it. This year's team, obviously, you got an all-state returning tailback, good back mates there with him, a good line. He pounds the football. He knows the game. The kids buy into his system. He works them hard, but he teaches them. And that's been the key with him, his consistency over these 25 years now.
Completely changed the program.
They're going to have a quick ceremony for him.
As PA announcer Trey Mason is giving a little presentation to commemorate win number 150. We'll try to turn the mic over to him as much as we can.
Looks like some of his former players.
With the win tonight, the Bulldogs have now qualified for the state playoffs for the 17th time under Coach Simon. And also, Coach Simon has now also won 150 games at Carmi-White County High School. We would like to congratulate Coach Simon on his accomplishment. More importantly, him and the various members of his coaching staff over the years for positively impacting our community and the many students who have gone through the program. Please join me in applause to show our appreciation. Congratulations, Coach Simon.
Chills. Like I said, one of the best coaches in high school football history right here in Carmi, Illinois. Kurt Simon, 150 career wins after the Bulldog football program surpassed 500 a couple of weeks ago. Big number 150, and nobody else deserves it more than Kurt Simon.
No, and to see his sons,
Yes.
Jake and Luke, out there with him, his wife Stacy, what an honor. Again, 1997, he came to a program that had one winning season from 1975 until 1997. 75, undefeated team. 76, I believe, had a winning record. 84, we were 5-4. But from 1984 until 1999, his first playoff year, we had one winning season, and that was 1984 at 5-4. And what he's done since then, he came here, he got kids to buy in to his program, to believe in what he's coaching, what he's teaching them to do, how to work. You've been a part of it. You know, he works you hard.
Yeah.
He works these kids hard. They're coming in here on Saturday mornings, lifting weights, watching film, doing things a lot of programs don't do. The man played college football, originally at Hawaii, then Eastern Illinois, we talked about. He's got experience helping in college. He knows X's and O's.
And he roomed with a guy at college named Sean Payton. Big name coach, maybe?
Yeah. You guys heard of that guy? Coached New Orleans Saints to a Super Bowl win. Anyway, what he's brought to this town, he's bought, number one, he's bought into the lower level systems.
Yep.
He believes in getting that going. But number two, he has just developed a system where if the kids learn, they buy into it, they work hard, they do what he's asking them to do, they can find success. And he's done it consistently here for over 25, 26 years now. And to have someone of his caliber, the knowledge he has of football, the way he mentors kids, the way he gets the most out of his talent, that, to me, that's his greatest strength. He knows his team's strength. He doesn't force feed something on kids that they can't do. You know, in the mid-2000s when we had the Chase Kittingers and the Kevin Wolfs, and then fast forward to the Jake Simons, we were throwing the ball because we could. That was our strength, and that's what we went with. But on the years when we're more running back heavy, may say we don't have the kid that can wing a ball 60, 70 yards. He says, okay, I'm not going to force feed the spread. I'm not going to make him get in a formation. No, we got good running backs. We got a solid line. We'll just run the ball. That's, to me, that is what makes him so good, is that he doesn't force things. He doesn't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. He goes with his strengths. He knows what his kids' strengths are, and he gets the most out of them each and every year. And this year you're seeing it.
Again, final score, Bulldogs improved to 5-0 on the year with a 38-12 win over the Fairfield Mules. We are getting things set and ready to talk to the man of the hour, head coach Kurt Simon. We will go ahead, though, and take a 2-minute commercial break here as soon as Haley can get her hands free. 2-minute break. We come back. We'll have the Roark Transport postgame show right here on 97.3 WRUL and 104.9 WFIW.
Roark Transport in Carmi has earned a reputation of dependable hauling that many in this area have depended on. Roark Transport now also offers rock, dirt, and lime hauling. From parking lots, driveways, and washouts, Roark Transport can handle all your rock and dirt hauling needs. Farmers can also depend on Roark Transport to deliver their lime when and where they need it. For your next driveway or parking lot job, remember Roark Transport for fast, dependable service. Call Roark Transport today at 265-366
underneath their house.
Are you enjoying listening to Bulldog Football on 97.3? Have you checked out the WRUL Sports page on YouTube, where you can watch and listen to all the action with Cole Carter and Chris Myers? Get an ad for your business in the broadcast or telecast by calling 618-382-4161 today and talk with any of our business development specialists. If it happens in Carmi White County, we've got it covered. We are WRUL Sports. Go Dogs!
The post-game show is delivered thanks to Roark Transport, hauling fuels, rock, grain, and more to help our community grow. Call 265-3665. The Bulldogs get a big homecoming night win, 38-12 over the Fairfield Mules. They improved to 5-0 for the first time since 2011 and qualify for the playoffs for the 17th time under head coach Kurt Simon in the second consecutive year. Chris, we could talk about 100 different things tonight. The great second half. Kurt Simon has 150th win, qualifying for the playoffs. Let's wrap it up just in one phrase and just say what a great night of football all around for the Bulldogs.
Oh, I tell you, it was the ultimate comeback story. You know, the first half was it was looking a little scary. Let's be honest. Fairfield came in here. We had said last week, records go out the window when it's a rivalry game. These teams have played each other for over 100 years, go way, way back. And Fairfield was not going to come in here and lay down. The Bulldogs knew that. In the first half, Mules played like a team that was really hungry for an upset. And the Bulldogs, quite frankly, looked like a team that was a little bit shell-shocked and kind of unprepared. But fast forward to the second half. Whatever Coach Simon told those guys at halftime, we'll probably ask him that here in a second. I think those kids knew, hey, okay, we got to wake up. We got to take care of some business. And to their credit, to their character, to their guts, to the way they just play football, they came out that second half and answered the bell in every situation they had to. The 3-and-out, getting their first possession, marching it down the field, getting a turnover, just completely flipping the script that second half. That's why you saw that final result of 38-12. That's what the result is of a Kurt Simon coached football team.
Carmi outscores Fairfield 30-0 in the second half. And Chris, we talked during the first half, Fairfield is a very well-coached team. Justin Towns has been doing this for a long time, and I think Fairfield had the right game plan coming into this game. Into the first half, they had Carmi stopped. We were thinking this is really the first time Carmi has not been able to do what they've done all season long. But you got to put yourself in a position of a Fairfield defensive lineman. You're going up against Bryson Moore, Gavin Payton all night long. It's going to wear you down. And Carmi was, it seemed like, the more conditioned, more physical team in this game. And as the game went on, they were the ones that eventually lasted longer.
Yeah, Fairfield, we talked about their size up front. They had 280, 290, 300-pounders. In that first series, you know, they accomplished the biggest mission of the night to start the game. If you were Coach Townsend, you had to mark that down. These guys have not been stopped. The Bulldogs have not been stopped on a first drive all season. And you know he had to be telling his team, if you can stop them, get them out of their comfort zone early, do something no one else has done, we're going to have a chance. And sure enough, Fairfield, that first defensive drive, other than the Draxod first down, stuffed the Bulldogs. They were winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Their first drive, I mean, that was a methodical march. The Bulldogs had no answer that first drive. They just took it down, shoved it down our throats. And you're thinking, okay, these guys come to play. Bulldogs responded, but then the Mules came back, and Rogers with that big 66-yard run down the sideline, and you could start to feel the wind kind of going out of the sails of the Bulldogs, because they're kind of looking at each other like, all right, we knew these guys were going to come to play, but we didn't totally expect this. You know, it was kind of like they got caught off guard a little bit. They were just kind of, you know, expecting their normal rhythm and just got kind of blindsided. And when that happened, I think it just really mentally, more than anything, threw the Bulldogs off their game. And so they knew come halftime something was going to have to change because it was getting kind of scary there for a while.
Yeah, I think if you're Fairfield, this can be encouraging. Obviously, they've had a tough start to the year, a tough schedule, but they were right there with Carmi in that first half, of course. Yeah. The man himself, soaking wet, cool Gatorade. We'll have Chris pass his headset over.
Come on in here, sir. Yep. Congratulations.
The man of the hour, head coach Kurt Simon, 150 career wins for the Maroon and White. Coach, we'll just start with the game itself. A wacky first half. Lights go out. It's obvious. It's like a lightning delay. It's hard to prepare your guys for that. Yeah. But it took them a while. But there in that third quarter, they turned it on and really showed who they are.
Well, I tell you, it was such a credit to the kids, their resiliency coming out in the second half. Going in, we really got hit in the mouth. Fairfield did a great job early in the game, pushing us around a little bit. And so we had not been in that scenario yet, which is a great scenario to be in. It shows you what kind of character you got. Okay, what do you do here? Do we come out? And the kids just came out and flat played in the second half. We really didn't. There really wasn't a lot of adjustments schematically. We just were missing blocks. And they were doing a great job of stunting and moving and things like that, so it created some problems. But we just showed them on the board. We got to still get that block, and we got a hat for a hat. And if we do it, we got these two guys in the backfield that are eventually gonna get there. So that's just what it was. I mean, that's where it really just a credit to the players. They just flat came out and played better in the second half.
Yeah, and we had talked about that last week. We knew, and you said it too, records go out the window in games like this, especially against Fairfield. Yeah. That team, Fairfield's not going to come in here tonight and just say, hey, we're going to give up our 10-year streak we're laying down for Carmi. So we kind of echoed what you said. We said, in a strange way, this might have been the best thing for your team at this point in the year. A little bit of a wake-up call. Okay, first time you've been taken off the field on a first drive. First time you've turned the ball over, First time that someone's took a drive and just methodically it's like, okay, we got hit in the mouth, now we're awake, now we've been through this, and it's your team.
That shows you the character of the senior leadership that we have, that we've talked about all year, and I'm sure we will continue to talk about. But, they just keep plugging away at it. We call it keep hammering away at it. We swing the hammers down to practice all the time, and that's kind of our our theme is when it doesn't look good and things are down, just keep hammering away at it. Don't quit. So,
I think from the schematic part, when you were able to finally stop their base run out of the double wing formation, the wedge, when you force them out of their comfort zone from running the football, I think that's when your team was able to kind of flip the script and turn the tables. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, it's no different than when you go. I mean, we're coming off playing. I know Cesar was a pretty good team or whatever, but the other teams were not that great this year at that time or whatever. So, I mean, you get into a game like this, and obviously, Fairfield's beat us 9 years in a row. It's not like, they shouldn't have confidence enough that they think that they can come in here and beat us. So, but you're gonna get that. It's the same thing when you go to the second round of the playoffs. When you hit some team that you haven't seen before and they're just a lot more physical. But it does just take some time to get used to it, so to speak, and this guy is a little heavier than me and he's coming at me, so I gotta dig my cleats in the ground and I gotta work a little harder, and I think that's basically what happened. We just kept playing hard and we just kept talking to them all week about we got to play forward against these guys, especially when you're in the double wing. I mean, you're going to get cut. You're going to fall on the ground. Someone's going to be on. You got to just get up and keep going and going and going. And I think eventually we just wore them down.
We knew it was going to be a battle up front, and that was probably the biggest defensive line you guys have faced all year. And they stopped the run early. They penetrated up front. But as the game got on, your front five on the offensive side just continued. And there in the second half, you could have drove a truck through one of the holes that Isaac ran through in one of those big plays. And it just shows. You talk about the keep hammering in all four quarters. And when the fourth quarter came around, it was the Maroon and White that was standing strong.
Yes, it was. And you can't do things like that without good players. I mean, you got Isaac and Drax in the backfield. These two kids are special. And they're a special talent. They're to go along with how good of people they are. And then we got good kids up front and kids that are learning. That's a great learning experience for us, and we'll be able to watch this film and learn a lot from this film, and you just got to get better. I mean, we're not done. There's still a lot of football to play, and we're looking forward to it. We got out of here without any injuries. I think Drax kind of twisted his ankle there at the end or whatever, but he's fine. So it's a matter of just staying healthy and keep working.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. This team was different than what you faced. The teams we faced the past few weeks have been more perimeter teams, spread the ball out, kind of sideline to sideline. This was 280, 290, 300, just kind of coming at you. And I think you're right. It takes a minute to adjust. And once your team did that, they did it well. And you could just feel the momentum shift. But again, it's such a testimony to your kids, their heart and their will. I mean, most teams shell-shocked like that at half, they're panicking, not your kids. No. I mean, they came out that second half and said, okay, this is our field. We're going to get this done. And that first drive, that 3 and out, that set the tone for everything, in my opinion, the way you guys played that first drive.
Absolutely. And it's just a matter, we always preach about outworking people. I mean, if there's one thing you can do, you can outwork people. So no one's going to work harder than we are. So we do as much as we can. And going into the season, and we talk about, but this is where it shows right here in the second half of games that you're behind the 8 ball, so to speak, or whatever, and you just keep fighting. And like I said, at halftime there wasn't a lot of schematic adjustments that we made. It was more or less, guys, we just have to get a hat on hat and stand, and that's a credit to Fairfield. I mean, they whipped us several times in the first half where we weren't used to getting whipped like that. But in the second half, the same 2 people, it flip-flopped. And that's again, big word, resiliency or whatever, but you can use whatever you want to use. We just outworked them, just keep your nose up and outwork them.
We don't want to keep you long. We know Jake and Luke and Stacy are down there to celebrate, but on that note, career win, number 150 for the Maroon and White. I'm not sure. We kind of kept it a secret all week from you. I think we did a pretty good job on that. But what does that mean, the big 150 for you in the Maroon and White?
Anybody that knows me knows that I don't keep track of all that stuff. I will someday when I'm done. I've always preached not individualism, and I don't know how many yards he's got and this, that, and the other. It's the same way with us. I've just been very blessed to be here, get to a place where you can work with other coaches, like in the school system, and no one's tugging on kids to go one way or another. I have had great assistants in the past, obviously Chris, you being one of them. The guys that have worked with me, and then that whatever culture I was trying to create, they joined right in. Of course, my best friend, Coach Haley, who passed away a few years ago. I've just been blessed with a lot of good people around me. And a football program it's a lot of people. It's not one person doing whatever. And I've just been blessed with a lot of great people, and obviously a lot of great kids. I think I said that last week or just somewhere talking to somebody just about how you guys have always been easy to coach, easy to motivate. I mean, that's a fun group to be around. When you can pat you on the back, or you can get in your grill, or we always come back and love on them or whatever. But you can coach them any way you want. And that's the way our kids have always been. And that's a credit to the parents around here and the way we bring kids up in the community. And it's been special. It's been special. We got a lot of way to go yet. So it's a milestone, I guess, or whatever. But we'll celebrate it a little bit and then move on and get ready for next week.
Well, I'm not sure a thank you or congratulations would be appropriate for what you've done to this program the past 20-some-odd years, really changing it from when you came here in 97. And, again, congratulations, Coach, on the win and number 150.
Been blessed, and give all the glory to God.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
That's Kurt Simon, and the Bulldogs win it 38-12 over Fairfield. Chris, he hit the nail on the head on everything, not just about tonight, but about everything, his entire coaching career here for the Bulldogs, and he really has changed everything on this football field.
He changed the culture. He just changed the culture, not only on the field, not only with the players, but he changed it in the community, because we were not a football program, let's be honest. I love the game. When I played, never got to be part of a winning team. It was from 1976 to 1999, as I said earlier, one winning season. This program was kind of in a dormant state, and he came in and he turned it around, and to do that is in a program that struggled to win. It's hard to do at first. He took his lumps. His first year they were 2-7. His second year they were 4-5. His third year we broke through and got in the playoffs, and ever since then we've never looked back. But again, it's a testament to not only his knowledge of the game, but getting kids to believe in what he's selling, what he's teaching them, to not only work hard on the football field, but to be good young men in the classroom, to be good young men in the community, to grow up to be something, to look back on the times you have in football, because football is so unique. I've said this before, that the sport of football is this. It is a small, small window in your life. Let's be honest. You can play pickup basketball after you get out of high school. You can go play some golf or a little soft, whatever. You can do some sports. I probably couldn't now, but when are you at any point after high school going to call up your friends, when you're in your 40s, say, hey, guys, let's get together, let's put some pads on and go play football? You're not going to do it because you're not going to get out of the hospital the next day. So it's just such a special time in life. It's a brotherhood. Football is a brotherhood to those who have played it, and he's made it special and meaningful to the kids, to the coaches, and to our community, and it's to his credit. And like he said, he's not going to take all the credit for it. It's just not his style. Football is a team game. He's had great people alongside him over the years, he'll tell you that, but what he's done, he can look back and at the very least just glow with pride over what he's done to turn this into a school that is year in, year out competing in football, at the very least competing for the playoffs, competing, in their conference, just doing good things year in and year out, being a solid, consistent program. And, all credit to him for sticking around this long.
Real quick, and of course, we do have a game next week. We got to move on from this one. The Bounce Back Report comes your way thanks to the good folks at Wabash Christian Therapy on Oak Street in Carmi. Get back in the game, call Wabash Christian today. So Carmi, a bit of a different scenery. You're going from playing a really tough Fairfield team to you're going to Edwards County next week, and a team that tonight scored their first touchdown of the season. It's fans. It's not going to be a close game, and but it's going to be, again, you got to show up, and you just got to take care of business. It's just one of those games you got to do what you got to do.
We'll call a spade a spade.
Yep.
I hope you guys still tune in, still watch the game. And we wouldn't be telling you the truth if we thought this is going to be a competitive game. The Bulldogs, if they click on all cylinders, are going to, and not saying it arrogantly. We're just telling the truth. Mm-hmm. They should take care of business next week against Edwards County. Again, a program that's been struggling mightily these past few years, but that's high school football in small towns. You go through peaks and valleys. We've all been through it. But the Bulldogs' approach will be as it is. They're going to prepare for Edwards County like they're prepared for Fairfield, because anything can happen. So they got to go in there, take care of business, and honestly, they'll have El Dorado the week after that. Get them here. El Dorado's a team you can't sleep on either.
Absolutely.
Don't want to look too far ahead. But in all reality, it's kind of the stage is slowly being set for a showdown in Week 8 at Johnston City.
Absolutely.
Again, I don't want to look too far ahead, but if we're being honest, it's the big test is coming.
Absolutely.
The Bulldogs have done what they had to do, but the Johnston City Carmi game is kind of going to be marked on a lot of people's calendars in a couple weeks. But we got to go take care of business next week at Edwards County.
Tomorrow morning we'll have the Saturday morning sports show on 97.3 WRUL and 93.3 WROY. Big thanks to JC Tinsley back at the WRUL studio. Big thanks to Drew Poughton back at the WFIW studio. Big thanks to Haley Winkleman, Whitney McGuire here in the press box helping us on the WRUL Sports YouTube channel. So for Chris Myers, I'm Cole Carter. Go Bulldogs. Have a great weekend.